Well, hello, everyone. How are y'all doing tonight? Lee cannot make a live this evening. I did not know that when I... Hey, Frank, how's it going? I did not know he wasn't going to be able to make it when I said earlier that we'd probably do a live stream tonight. And then I had a few people say they wanted me to go live, so here we are solo. So I'm going to need somebody to step up to the plate and click the link and join in with me so we can make it a little bit more entertaining. And that way you just don't hear me rambling about what's going on. 5x5. What you doing with 5x5? You doing five frame nukes? See, that's the problem. There's nothing to bounce off of when you're going solo. That's why I like to have that interaction. It's always good to have somebody else. So I've got the link pinned in my chat. Feel free to come in and, hey, Jim, come on in, brother. Click the link at the top, drop into the chat, and we'll get you in here. And, let's just talk some bees, baby. Let's talk some bees. So, obviously, everybody's seen I got stung up yesterday. I'm still kind of feeling but it's okay. It wasn't my bees, but helped somebody out. And everything is good. All right, cool. 5x5 is squared. It's all squared away. And I'm just contemplating. Hey, Vaughn, good to see you. I'm contemplating. I'm looking at the website over here on if I need to get some more 5-frame equipment. I don't want to buy any more equipment, but I might have to buy some more equipment. Because now I've got half of my, I'm liking it. I just feel old. By Christmas time, I might be able to work at the mall, having kids sit on my knees. Hey, Johnny, what do you want for Christmas? A new beehive. Great, Johnny. Why don't you come join in, Jim? And we're going to... So I'm looking at the website here and thinking about buying some more 5-frame nukes, but I just don't know. I've got, it's like every time I buy something, then I think about it afterwards, and it's like I've got to buy more to go with that something, and then I got to buy more to go with that something, and then you got to buy more to go with that something, and it just keeps going and going. It's like, when will it stop? Is this the dances of what? everybody, Captain Carnage. Captain Carnage is my nephew. So that means I expect him to super chat. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Yeah, this is the I just got stung over and over shirt that I've been wearing. Oh, you're stuck at work? Crap. Yeah, it is. Hey, I got the link pinned if anybody wants to join because Lee cannot make it. So if, Earl or somebody's out there, any of the regulars, anybody that just wants to come on for the first time, we got 11 people here right now. We Houston. I saw Houston did a mail call video today. I saw Earl put out a video today on hillbilly beekeeping. Jim, I think you put one out too, didn't you? Hey, DC. I had said on that little short live video I did earlier that, hey, maybe we'll do a live tonight. And then Lee texted me, I can't tonight. So I came on solo, so I'm a glutton for punishment. Solo is much harder, much harder to do than a group chat, because the group chat, you're actually like talking to somebody. And when you're doing it solo, you're just talking to yourself and watching words come across the screen. So it's much more difficult. But yeah, so the 2-frame nukes, I'm up to, I think 14 of those now have splits in them. Hey, you got your ground tilled up? Oh, nice. And I got 14 of those little splits made, but I feel like I need to get some 5-frame boxes and split more than that. But see, then when you get the 5-frame boxes, then you got to, put them together and paint them, or just paint them depending how you get them. And then, oh, well, now you need a stand. So you got to have a stand to put them on. So it's just like boom, 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 right? Just more. I did not put it on there. I went out there today. I split a bunch of colonies. Well, not really split. I pulled some broods of open brood frames off of a few colonies and put them in the 2-frame nukes. I introduced a few of Jose's queens. And then, that's pretty much what I did today. And then it was kind of like overcast and cloudy. It's supposed to thunderstorm tonight and tomorrow. So it's going to be a kind of a crazy couple of days. And they're still bearding like crazy on that box. So I don't know. They're just hanging out. And, I wouldn't have, that's the first time I've really had that kind of bearding on the colony. I've had bearding a little bit, but they're really kind of packed on the front. And I want them girls to get up inside and start doing some work, start doing that. Let's see. So really nobody wants to join me tonight. Nobody wants to come in. This could be the shortest live we've ever done. For real. If I can talk. That's a documented fact, but I do have Ricky Rourke coming down on Saturday. The pollen trap's good. Which pollen trap did you get, DC? Let me see. That way they are matched for 2-frame going to the 5-frame next to it. Call Earl. Call the hillbilly. I'll call him. I'll send him a text. Let me see. He's probably lurking in the background. Let me send him a text, see if he wants to come on. Or I'll send one to Houston too. Hey, I'm live. Get on in here. That sent that one to Houston. And let me see. Where's the Hillbilly. There you go. Hey, I'm live. Get on in here. Send it to both the same thing. All right, there. He wanted me to go live. Now you can come join me. I got to use one from Harris, the keeper. I got bees from. Okay, I got you. Hey, Silver Gorilla. Brad, come on in, man. Lee couldn't make it tonight. I need a co-host. Brad put out videos today too. 2 of them. All I've done is live so far. Houston's blowing up, man. My legs feel better. I still got a little bit of a, I don't know, it's low grade fever or something. I don't feel like 100%, but it's all good. I'll make it. I'll survive. Been through worse. It felt bad at the time, but it's feeling all right now. You know, and the thing was, they weren't even my bees, so my bees were pretty chill. I know it. Where are you located, Yvonne? Got to go pick up dinner first. Who are you, Randy McCaffrey? Let me see. OTS Queen. That worked. OTS. What's OTS? Oh, you're in Kentucky as well. Well, you know, you got some beekeepers around you too. Then you got Houston Shelton is in Kentucky. NKY honeybees. Earl the hillbilly beekeeper, he's pretty close. And on the spot queens. Where'd you get on the spot queen today that works? What is it? Man, I'm not sure if I know what that is. Oh, on the spot split. I got you. Jim Hamby's in northern Kentucky, so you got beekeepers all around you over there. Well, I say all around you. You know, who knows? They could be all over the state, but they're there. They are there. On the spot split. I did that. You know, I went through one colony that I didn't. I wasn't really expecting, but when I went through it, they had almost totally capped queen cells. So I went ahead and took those 2 frames and split them off and into 2-framer. So maybe those queens hatch and come flying back to their 2-framer, and we'll have us a mated queen here in a couple weeks. On the spot queen. See, now I'm going to have to hit the old Googler. I've never heard of that. On the spot queen. See, I'm learning. On the spot queen rearing. Norfolk Honey Company. I'll definitely will watch that video. How does it work? And then it says people also ask, does OTS queen rearing work? It says it just doesn't work. You end up with a small immature queen that often won't even get mated. When doing OTS properly, the original queen is removed along with a couple of frames of brood and bees. That's it. With a frame or 2 of honey placed in its own box. Oh, so basically you're taking the hey Sarah. So basically you're taking doing a split, but you're removing the queen from the mothership, right? Putting it in another box. I just never heard it like that. And then the big colony raises a bunch of cells, right? That's what we're talking about. I just never heard it called that before. So basically, I guess they're saying that it's like emergency. They make a bunch of emergency cells. Well, that's kind of the same thing. I've forgotten if you can beatbox or not. No, not very well. Not very well at all. Let me see. I can't believe this. Nobody see Lee is definitely the anchor of the show, I guess. Nobody wants to jump in. Cajun said he'll come after he gets dinner. So that could be 30 minutes. He must think this is going to be an epic long show with one person. Probably not going to happen. Earl might be asleep. Who knows? Houston never texted me back. Williams probably flying back home. Seen him post some videos too up lately. So, well, crap. They're not answering me, guys. Hey, Jason. Yeah, I did a little live video earlier today, and I'd mentioned that I might go live tonight, and then Lee, after the fact, said he couldn't. No, I didn't get them all installed yet. No, I did not get all the queens installed. I started splitting out. I've got some cutic queens that I'm that are in colonies right now. So when people come and buy the queens, I'm removing them out of the colony. So they're laying. Yeah, I'm waiting on you to join me. Houston. Yeah, I survived. It was bad though. It was really bad. I probably couldn't even get monetized with that video footage anyway. It would have been terrible. It was pretty bad yesterday. So if you didn't see the video, essentially what happened was a friend of mine has inherited some bees that his dad was keeping. His dad had been keeping bees for years. And his dad got sick and really wasn't really able to get out to the bees. And then his dad passed away a couple months ago. And so last week he went out and put a super on top of them. But he contacted me and asked could I come out and help him, help him go through his bee colonies. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll come out there because it's only like 10 minutes from my house. Sure, I'll come out there. And, they were really chill in that colony while we were doing the other two colonies. But once we broke into that colony, I would say they hadn't been touched in at least a year. And all of the frames, it's kind of like, how can I show you this? They were giving me these frees at the store. So if this was a top super frame, and this was the super underneath it, and it had bee space, they kind of combed all the way up in between them. So they were hooked to each other. All of them were hooked. It was like 4 supers on top, and the frames were linked together. So as you popped one off, you're breaking the comb in between, and they didn't care for it at all. So we were popping them loose and then scraping the burr comb off of them. And then the plastic frame, the bottom of the plastic frame was so entombed in comb that it actually snapped the bottom off of it. Yeah, it was just one solid unit all the way down with, frames in between them. And it was terrible. Yeah, I'm feeling better. I mean, I was killing the Benadryl. I was taking, the little shot cups. I took like a bunch of shots of Benadryl yesterday, but I still today I was like I still feel like I got a fever. It's like it's crazy how long your body's like fighting all those things. And but we got them. We went through them. We got them a plan set up to where hey, go back in these next week. he's kind of starting to run out of equipment because nobody's been in there. You know, he's just got honey in it, a bunch of honey and stuff. So he's got to go and yeah, it was bad. It was pretty bad. But, you know, had a good time. We did actually have a cold beer in the middle of it. I'll probably get demonetized for saying cold beer. But but at any rate, you know, we had a cold beer, got to hang out with the old friend and, you know, work some bees. It was just got exciting. The itching is what will get you. Yep. 20 minutes. All right. Houston said, and Houston might join us too. So let me finish eating. He's eating too. Am I the only one who's already ate? Y'all eat late. Well, I guess it is only 7:30 out there. I was probably over 100. It was bad. They were really, they were really bad. Yeah. I mean, yeah, 100 plus. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I mean, till my ankle started swelling up and they were hard to walk, you know, and then you lay down a little bit later, your kidneys start hurting, and it was it was tough. Hey, Jason, I've never seen bees this mad to where they were flying into a lit smoker. They were literally there was smoke coming out. It was hot. They were landing on the smoker and they were attacking the smoker with total disregard. Landed on a hot smoker and just falling off dead. There were so many of them. And flying in the smoker, I've never seen it like that in my life. And I've had some hot hives, but this one was bad. If I go back out there next week to do that with him, I'll take the GoPro this time. You guys will see evil incarnate bees in South Carolina. But, you know, I think, you know, it's been a year. I know you can't say the bees are your friends and all that stuff, but I think they do understand the difference between you breaking the comb in half, right? If you're keeping up on it and you're in there and you're cleaning the frames and keeping the burr comb down and keeping it kind of lined up, then you're not disrupting them as much when you're breaking it apart. So it's more of a routine, right? No, I'm good. I'm good with that. I'm trying, man, it was everything yesterday. I had to walk probably half an acre away and they were still on you. And then, you know, when they have that comb, I've never seen comb like that. I mean, where if these were both frames, Jason, all the way 4 supers, and they had 4 supers on top of a brood box, and every single frame from the brood box, 4 supers, were all the frames were linked together all the way. So every time you broke it, you're breaking the comb in between here, in between the boxes, and that would get them riled up. And the closer you got down to the brood box, the more pissy they got. And it was bad, that one colony. But I think we got them on a schedule. You know, it was like this. We were taking stings. If you put it back together and then come back in a week and tear it back apart, you're still going to take those stings. So you might as well just go ahead. For me, it was like, I might as well just go ahead and do it one time. Go back out there and hit him with the gas can. Lee, hey, I'd rather be doing this, talking to myself on YouTube than moving. Any day. Any day. Drone comb? No, there wasn't too many drones in there. Not in that colony. It was just slam packed with bees. Slam packed. All old comb, old hard comb. And I've never seen comb snap the bottom off of a plastic frame. It was pretty, I mean, it was honeycomb. It was stuck to the top frame. It had honeycomb. And then in that honeycomb was the bottom of the plastic frame. And then more comb on top of it. So I had to take my hive tool and get that piece of plastic off of the hive. We scraped all the excess honeycomb and put it onto the inner cover and took the inner cover way away so it wouldn't start any robbing. Let them clean that up. It was pretty hot colony, but feel better. I do feel better. It's funny because I could actually start at my ankles and legs, and you could feel like the burning would started moving up the legs and then go lay down after the Benadryl, and I could feel it in my back. It just started like creeping up, and I just told my wife, just check on me and make sure I'm still breathing in a little while. You put them in a new hive and they were totally different afterwards. See, my thought was, he's going to be pulling honey in probably the next 2-3 weeks off of that colony. So if he does that, then we're probably going to split it down and, give a new queen or demoralize that queen by making it such a weak colony. It's going to take it a while to build it up, and probably a year. It's probably been I'm going to say it's probably been a year since somebody was in that colony. His dad got sick and and he couldn't take care of it. And then his dad passed away. So 1 hour, 15 minutes, 45 seconds away to get rid of varroa mites. Oh yeah. You're talking about it's a brood break, right? For the colony. Let's see. Dean Family Apiary. I know you're located somewhere near me. Where are you guys located? Yeah, split them down with new queens. Yep. The problem is sometimes when they get that hot, they just don't want to take a queen. It's like she's invading them. But so I've got to do splits again. I guess that's what I'm gonna have to do. I don't know. I'm so shooting by the hip at this point. Yep, that's what I say too. Just split them down, demoralize that queen, break the numbers down, and just I try not to kill a queen at all costs. And the genetic things where people say, well, put a new queen in there because the genetics, but just because you have a trait doesn't mean your sister has a trait or your son or daughter will have the same trait that you have. So just because you have a hot queen doesn't mean that her offspring will be a hot queen. Please. Okay. Timmonsville. Okay. I got you. Tornado warning. We're supposed to get thunderstorms here tonight, so I've just been hanging out. Had a swarm move into a couple of my boxes here at the house a couple of days ago. Nice. I like freebies. You know what I like about swarm traps at my own apiary, catching swarms, because hopefully they're my own swarms and I'm not losing my own bees. I've been pretty lucky, but this year is I haven't had. But it's weird. I made a mistake. Okay, so I'm splitting a colony, making a nuke, and I didn't see the queen, and I moved her. The on-the-spot queen. I moved her to a nuke box, and so the mothership colony, it started making a bunch of cells. And then the nuke, she only had she was a smaller nuke split, and they didn't even build it all the way out. Then they swarmed, and the phone won't allow it. A lot of people come in on a phone, and they swarmed out of the nuke that I had them in and swarmed into another nuke, and then swarmed, and I caught them. I sprayed some Swarm Commander on a bucket and set it down, and they landed. Google said no. I don't know. I've not had that happen before, Larry. Here, let me try to, maybe there was something wrong with the link. I'll share the link again. I see you, Full Frontal. I see you peeping in on me. So let me see. Hey, there we go. Hey, Larry.
Hey, it was the operator. Hey.
Hey, I find when that's usually my problem too. It's not working. So where are you at, Mr. Larry?
I am in the middle of Mississippi.
Mississippi. You down there in Dirt Rooster country. Randy's down there, I think, somewhere.
Yeah, he's closer to the coast. So
okay.
I'm middle part of the state.
How long you been keeping bees out there?
35, 40 years.
Oh, wow. You've been doing it for a while then.
Yeah.
Now, here's a question. Does anybody else in your family share your enthusiasm towards honeybees, or do you have to do it solo?
Well, I have a brother that likes it pretty good, and we kind of partner together, and we do a lot together.
Well, that's good, because I can't get any of my kids interested, nephews, anything.
No, my children, they helped me whenever they were under the roof, but once they got out and married and gone,
they didn't want nothing to do with it then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how mine were. They left, they were done.
They're always busy.
Larry, do you have a YouTube channel where you make content?
I'm not that savvy yet. I've got I got one out there. I haven't uploaded anything in quite a while.
But you do have something out there. What's your channel? Is it just
Gandy Bees?
All right. So, I'm gonna find your channel. We're gonna drop the link so we can get you some more people over there, and maybe that'll
Gandy Beekeeping.
Maybe that'll encourage you to make some more content.
Absolutely. I appreciate what y'all do. I mean, I drop in all the time whenever I catch y'all on. I can't enter the drawings yet because I'm trying to figure out how to get to each of your page and then do all the steps required. But I'll get there. We've just been so busy. We just now got a little bit of a break. It's been raining for the last 3 or 4 days.
I can't get my wife to understand. She's like, "Why are you always out in the yard?" Because it's beekeeping season.
Absolutely.
You gotta be out there. All right, I'm gonna drop your channel in the chat. So, hey guys, go over to Mr. Larry's channel, give him a sub real quick, and we'll get you. You got some videos on there. Some of them are a little bit older videos, but they're there.
Yeah, they're old. I show them what a slime out looks like when you move bees back from watermelon fields and disrupt the colony.
You got hive beetles?
Hive beetles are prevalent down here. We apparently raise them.
Yeah, us too. Have you tried the peppermint yet?
I have not. I intend to. I haven't lost a lot this year because we move bees. We go to blueberry and then we go to watermelon fields, and eventually we'll make it back home. But our permanent yards are not really permanent because we move.
So you do a lot of pollination services.
We do, yeah.
Now is that something is that something you charge for, or is that something you do just to give your bees something to forage on?
No, we charge for it. There's not enough blooms at a watermelon field to make anything. You actually damage your colonies by going to watermelon, but that's $50, $60, per colony, and it's
And how long do you leave them out there?
Until they get through with them. It's normally July before they get through with them.
So you basically $50, $60. And how long do you figure they're actually on the field?
Probably 6 weeks.
6 weeks. So $10 a week per colony. You cooking us dinner right now, Mr. Gandy?
Yeah.
If we didn't,
I thought
there's known to cook out, I'd have brought something.
Well, we're in the Bible Belt. You can't bring no beer down here now. So
Right.
We don't allow that. But we sure enjoyed the visit. Like I say, I appreciate what y'all are doing and being able to get on here and teach us things like peppermint and things that we can do.
Well,
Now,
I'm a firm believer. Okay, so you're a prime example of what I'm talking about. People seem to get caught up in how many subscribers a channel has as to their knowledge. Now, your channel at this point, until I told people to go over there, had 25 subscribers, but you've got 35 years of experience. So you can't look at that channel and say, oh, he's only got 25 subs. He doesn't know what he's doing. You see what I'm saying? And I think the misconception with YouTube is when you only have 25 subscribers, they cannot find your channel. So we need to get people to go to your channel so they can get some of that 35 years of experience. And that's really important to me. And I'm going to try to drive people over to you for sure.
Well, like I say, I'm not chasing that yet. I definitely want to be able to teach people and share, what I know. If they've got any questions, I'll be glad to, try to answer them.
Okay.
We switched over probably 10, 12, 15 years ago. We switched over to the Russian. We're purebred Russian. And we were in the program with, LSU up until last year. We dropped out of the program. I just couldn't keep up with all the paperwork. We got fantastic bees, and I want to talk to you a little bit about that. This colony that hadn't been managed in a year that eats you up so bad.
Right.
I've had those many years ago. Haven't had to deal with it in quite a while, but I do know what you experienced, and it's scary even as a seasoned beekeeper. Whenever you're getting hammered like that and flying into the smoker, just wrapping you up and all in your face, and there's like 40,000 bees and all of them angry.
And you want to do it quick, but you still want to do it accurately to do the best job you can for the bees. But it was just a situation where his father got ill and couldn't work on them, and it happens. So hopefully we might get them under control.
What bloodline were they? Do you know? Were they a hybrid?
I don't know. I don't even think he knew. Most people around here have Italians. So, but I've never seen Italians really that aggressive like that, but I guess it could happen.
Well, it could, but it could be a cross. I know many years ago, when I first got into it, I had a friend that was buying. He'd buy 25 queens from out on the West Coast, bring them in, and then he would pick the one that he liked the best out of those. And once that hive superseded, it made them mean. Once they bred with Italians that were in our local area, it made them mean. So
I've been doing that a little bit this year. No, I've been doing a lot of it this year. I've been buying queens a lot this year. But part of it was where I'm at, nobody had queens really. And in the area where I'm at, nobody had queens. So the local bee store, when people would call them, they didn't have queens. So I was like, you know what? I'll buy the queens and honestly, I make more on a pint of honey profit than I do on a queen because I didn't raise the queen. So I'm just kind of the middleman at that point, and, but what it has allowed me to do is the profit from my queens has allowed me to requeen some colonies, do some splits with, mated queens, and grow my operation relatively easily. And now I started with some 2-frame mating nukes that I'm just starting up. So we'll see what kind of craziness can ensue around here in the growth.
Yeah. Well, we got into it. Well, this year we did. We had some 4-frame double nukes, had 4 in each side, and they worked out real well for us. And the ones that we transferred out, they were doing extremely well. But the honey flow hit, and those little bitty colonies, they plugged those things out. The queen didn't have anywhere to lay. They started swarming, and
Right.
it's just they didn't have the workforce there because they had no room to lay whatsoever.
Well,
And I couldn't get back to them quick enough.
well, that's me right now. I've got 2 yards. My main yard is right here at my house, and then I've got a chestnut grove down the road that's 18 and a half acres, but I don't have that much over there yet because I just started moving bees there a couple weeks ago, because there's a big strawberry field less than a quarter mile from this grove. But I wanted to make sure that they weren't spraying anything that was going to kill my bees in the grove before I moved a lot of bees over there. So we're kind of just slowly bringing them in, and but they're doing good right now. I checked on them earlier in the week, and I'm gonna go back this weekend and check on them again, and probably go ahead and treat the nukes, and try to strengthen them up. But just trying to make these splits, and now I've got a bunch of queen. I've never thought I could say I have more queens than I need at the moment, but I sure do. That's and I got Brad's down here. Let's bring Brad in too. Bradley.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Pretty good. We got Mr. Gandy here from Mississippi. He's a
Brad.
35-year beekeeper.
Wow.
So where you're located in Louisiana, how far are you from Mississippi, Brad?
Not very far. I'm in a Balls Parish, which is just right on the other side of the river from Mississippi, in central Louisiana.
So how far are you from Jackson?
I'd have to look. I'm not sure because I'm not too familiar with where Jackson. I'm in between. The 2 ways we can cross over to go to Mississippi is either in New Roads, not New Roads. I can't think of the area.
Well, 84 runs all the way across Gegina, and then you've got, of course, Natchez.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
You know where Alexandria is at?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're east of Alexandria, southeast of Alexandria.
Okay. Well, 84, I think, goes over there.
Okay.
It goes all the way to Gina. I know. I think that's about where I turn and go south. I go that way when I'm going to Houston. I bypass Baton Rouge and all that nonsense down there.
Oh, okay.
Larry, how many colonies are you taking to the fields right now? How many are you managing?
It varies. Right now, it'd be hard to say. It's a couple of hundred colonies, I would imagine.
And you move them
I move them out to honey locations as well. But I move them from blueberry out to the watermelon fields. Normally the blueberries finish up blooming in time for me to get in on the pollination for the watermelon fields.
Okay. That's interesting. Is it just like a handshake, or do you have them sign a contract, or?
Everything's with a handshake. And I picked up 2 more renters this year. Small guys. They only want like eight colonies per field, but I know all of them. And
okay.
The ones that are a little bit further away, I've had a couple of them forget to pay me, and then they won't answer their phone, stuff like that. But
been there, done that.
Yeah. But it's okay. They got to answer for what they do, just like I have to answer. For the amount of bees I take to the field, and I take it pretty serious.
Right.
Rather than just taking boxes, I want to make sure the quality of the bees are there, that they get their money's worth. If you take just a box with very few bees, and that's stealing in my book. And of course, then when they don't pay you, then I feel like they're the thief. So
that makes sense. I mean, you think they would, well, in instances like that, they're going to need you before you need them, probably, as far as the pollination. And hopefully they catch you up, and then you can make a decision on whether you're going to move forward on bringing them back there.
Right. Yeah, they have to pay. I've had one of them that he let me be his banker for a year. I made him pay up front, and he paid for last year, and he paid for this year before I moved the first colony.
Yep.
So
no
some
credit.
people you just have to do it that way sometimes.
It's not most of them business.
Most of them, they want to pay you when the watermelons start rolling in. They get that cash flow coming in,
right?
And I don't mind, holding off for that, but I don't want them to string me on for a year or so.
And Houston's down here too. There's Houston. Houston, you're in the dark, man.
Sorry.
Can't see your face. It's like interrogation. There you go.
Interrogation. I can move it.
And Houston, Larry, Houston's over in Kentucky.
Okay.
Hi, Larry. Good to see you on, man.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
So now we got the whole Southeastern Conference just about covered. Kentucky, Mississippi, South Carolina, and Louisiana.
So
I'm usually in a dark truck anyways, man. I mean,
that's true. Larry, you probably got to go eat, don't you?
Yeah, I'm fixing to have to drop off here. But listen, I did want to come up and give you a little bit of support there, Bob, until these other guys could get in here. So I'm going to drop out, and I do appreciate the visit. And
for sure.
We'll
come back anytime.
All right, my friend. Talk to y'all later. Nice to meet you other guys.
All right, bye-bye. All right, well, that was nice. I like having new people and learning about their operations. He does pollination in Mississippi.
See him drop in more often, pick his brain a little bit.
Well, that's the prime example of what I'm talking about. With subscriber count does not equal knowledge.
No.
I mean, it don't. He's been beekeeping for 35 years. He's got 29 subs. If you guys don't go and sub to learn everything you can from that man, I can't help you. There ain't no help for you. I can't. There's nothing I can do for you. You got to take that free 99 knowledge if it's on YouTube.
That long, he's seen everything.
Speaking of free 99 knowledge, Sawmill Charlie, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, the other guy dropped out. You say?
Yeah, he was cooking hamburgers on the grill while he was talking to us.
Oh, okay. And you say he's a pollinator guy?
Yeah, he does pollination services in Mississippi.
I guess he does all local pollination, huh?
Yeah, he said he goes to the blueberries and then he takes them to the watermelons and gets a little bit of honey nectar. But he said he's seen colonies like that one that I was in. He said it is not fun at all. It makes me feel better about my bees, though. I'm not gonna lie. When I walked out there, I felt like walking out in my jockey shorts this morning. I'm like, man, after those bees, I could take anything. It was tough yesterday.
I wonder how that guy moves these hives around.
Well, see, Charlie, what it was, they were his dad's colonies. Oh, you're talking about the guy that was just on here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure how he's.
Would have been interesting. There was what was it? I watched the stream team a little bit there last night for a few minutes, and the guy was asking him, he's going to get into all 200 hives and all that, and I'm thinking to myself, well, it's like Ian Stepler said, you got to learn how to move them down.
Yeah, that's true. Moving them is a
if that's what you're going to do.
Well, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I think I'm going one way, and then I end up going a different way, and a different way, and a different way. And in my head, at the time that I make a decision, it makes perfect sense. And then I get home, and I'm like, "What the hell was I thinking? That don't make any sense."
Yeah.
Or you're getting there to implement the plan. You're like, "Wait a minute, I can make these splits out of these nukes." The problem is that all these nukes that I'm taking splits out still have queens. So I got to get rid of a queen to replace the queen. And if nobody's buying a queen, now I got to either make more splits and add queens to them.
That's
And
just like the California bee man. Him, I was thinking pollination. You throw a couple of hives on a truck, send them down there, and they put them in the yard. But the way he explains it, it's complicated.
yeah,
It's like the business part of it is complicated.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
well, the farmer, he said that the farmer can call you and say, "Hey, we're going to be spraying tonight," and then you got to go out there, or I think they had to give them 72 hours. He said, but they got to go and move all those colonies so they can spray and then bring them back. I'd be like, really?
And then the expense of the truck. I didn't realize how expensive that truck was.
Well, look at diesel's like $6 or something a gallon now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Bruce, he talked about having a connection or somewhere where he piggybacked in. So
Yeah, there's a guy down there where Bruce lives. He's a big, pollinator, I guess you'd call him. And he's just using, you might say, Bruce to fill out the truck.
Yeah. That's what Bruce said. He said like he don't actually have anything to do with
the broker part of it. He just adds his boxes in with his.
He just brings a certain amount of bees to that loading yard, and I think it's like a couple of different guys that they fill up the truck.
Yeah, and then but one guy's responsible for it, right? Yeah. One guy's responsible, but yeah, that would be cool, but I ain't to that level yet, and I don't know that I ever will be to that level.
Well, another thing is what they didn't. I don't know whether they told you this or not, but those pallets. Bruce has made a video where he bought brand new pallets to send it out there.
Yeah.
Because they can't have any fire ants or anything like that. If they find one little larvae on a pallet, they'll stop that whole load out there before they cross in. And they got to wash the whole damn thing. And
Florida and California are bad for that. I used to drive a tractor trailer. If you had produce or something in your truck, you had to stop and get the whole truck inspected before you could bring it into the state.
Yeah, I traveled out there a long time ago we knew about it. Somebody told us about it. And we were in a motorhome. And, they came right in the refrigerator there and checked what you had, especially like produce. If you had produce, we were confiscating it, put it in a dumpster.
I saw something where they have people flying in from Asia into LAX, and they're going through and they're trying to bring bok choy and all kinds of stuff from China in their bags, and they're just confiscating the hell out of it.
Yeah.
But Mike, I think I saw a question you asked how I was going to treat my nukes. My apivar, 1 strip per 5-frame colony.
That's what I do.
And roll with it.
That's the stuff I use. And I leave my strips in all winter.
They're not going to generate any honey, right? I already know that. If best case scenario, I'll graduate them up to a 10 frame, and that probably won't happen this year. It'll probably end up being overwintered nuke or something, and I don't know. We'll see. Or a nuke I sell in the spring or something. Who knows? I don't know what the rest of this year is going to bring, but I know I might have bitten off more than I can chew. So if you guys need queens, hit a brother up, because I might have way more than I need, and I might not. I might have just wasted a bunch of money on boxes. I don't know. We'll see.
Man, you need the guy down. Well, let's see how you do it down there.
Charlie,
the guy you need to ask about them
2-framers
mating nukes.
All right, Charlie.
What's that?
So you haven't been on it a few nights, but I did a whole thing. I said, if Charlie can do it, by God, I can do it. So I bought 32 frame mating nukes and set up a whole queen mate nuke yard in the back of my property.
Right.
And
Three frame or two frame?
Two framers, like Barnyard Bee does, right?
Yeah,
So,
that's like I got right behind me there, because this week I put 20 of them out there.
what kind of take do you usually get return on them? Like all I'm doing is doing basically walk away splits in them, dropping a frame of open larva, nurse bees in there in a blank, and letting them do their thing.
You're not putting a cell in there?
No, not well. I do have a couple that I split off today that were making cells.
Yeah, but I see what I do is I graft, and I'll have right now I got 25 cells in the incubator, and then I'll take them cells now Friday. They're going to hatch Friday, Saturday, Sunday, between Saturday night and Sunday, but it's misting right now, and Friday, I think it's supposed to rain, but hopefully I can get out there and I'm gonna put the darn cells. That's what I was doing tonight. Was I had to go to Virginia and pick up some parts and get back, and so I went out there and I started populating 2 frame mating boxes, and I found some hives. I knew that were some, queenless and whatever, and I found some other nukes that were like just jamming it. And I'm like, okay, you got too many frames of brood here. You're going to swarm down the road. So I pulled all them frames out and put a frame of brood in. And then I try to find myself a nectar frame. So now I don't have to feed them right away. So they got nectar, they got brood. When the brood hatches, they think it's their beehive. So I can keep putting queen cells in throughout, the next 3 months or more.
Well, what I've been doing is the first ones I did, I put one frame of open larva, all stages, right? Cap, open, eggs, boom. Put it over there, one blank, a little tiny sliver of fondant, and a little tiny sliver of pollen patty, just in case they didn't have enough foragers, they could have something to eat in there. And that was it. Just let them go. And then the good thing about the single deep management, when I do the inspection, if they're getting too strong, I'll pull, like one of them I pulled 2 frames out of today, made two frame splits with that, and just put 2 blanks back in the bottom box so they could draw them back up. So
are they staying in there, Bob? I mean, have you had some go back to the mother hive?
Typically what I'm finding is if I'm getting the ones that have open larvae and eggs on it, there's a higher percentage of nurse bees on that than there are just like random forager bees. So there are some going back, but I mean, the first ones I did, I put the 2 frames in there, and like an hour later, there was bees coming out doing orientation flights in front of the 2 framers. So you're not going to see, I don't have a ton of traffic going in and out, but you'll see 1 or 2 bees go out, 1 or 2 bees come in, So we're going to see. It's an experiment. I got 14 of them with frames in them right now.
How about trying to lock some in for a day and see if you get a bigger population? Like just put a little screen in the front entrance after you stick them in there. I did that and they stayed. I got a lot more to stay because they were in the same yard. So I just took some mesh wire.
That's right. That's what I do is if you got a wide opening, 3 or 4 inches, put your 1/8 inch hardware cloth, just make a piece at least 4 or 5 inches wide, or wide, and then fold it in half like a V. Take your hive.
I made like a little spring with it, and I just
just jam it in there with your hive tool,
just to block them in.
Lock them in, and like those nukes behind us there. That's the 2 framers. I put bees in there tonight and moved them 50 feet away in the same yard, and I'll lock them up. If you lock them up 3 to 4 days, like tomorrow's going to rain, and they're good to go. It's cool still here, and after about 4 days, they lose their memory of where home is. Most of them, and it's just for me right here lately. The last several weeks between trying to fight the weather and go in and do some type of bee work in between weather storms and getting to decent days, it's been so difficult. And you would try to that's cool. That's nice.
So I've got them alternating, right? They're up against each other, but their entrances are alternating other directions, and then the frames in the box are actually like they're towards the inside, both of the frames. So I don't know if I think I heard somewhere that
the frame right in the middle and be done with it,
Yep, and that's
they look like mine,
and that's what we got right now. So
you got that green color. That's one of my colors.
Oh, it is, yeah. Well,
yeah.
that was that Krylon Max. You see the can right there on the ground, right here, Krylon Max. So that's I find that it the paint primer for the small boxes it's just quicker. I take 2 chairs and I hang a pole in between them and hang the boxes, and I just spray them, spin it, spray them, done, and let them dry. And the tops and bottoms take a little bit longer, but you know what? I got a pretty. Now I didn't get the deal that you guys make boxes get. I understand, because that's you guys' thing. So, making boxes.
I made mine about 3 years ago in the middle of winter when I didn't have a whole lot to do.
Well,
and then I tweaked them the next year below that.
I bought 30 boxes, and 30 boxes assembled. Well, no, let me rephrase that. I bought these 30 nukes. They came with a lid and a bottom board, right? So with tax, it was like $713 divided by 30, and they assembled them. I didn't pay anything for assembly. $23 a piece for the bottom, the top, and the box.
But a lot of people say, oh, you can put them together yourself, and I did that some regular honey supers or something like. I think it was nuke boxes where I bought them knocked down, and they're like $2 or $3 a piece to put them together.
Hey, Amir, I'm in Columbia, South Carolina, just outside of Columbia, South Carolina. I'm in Hopkins.
And, time is, your time is valuable too, trying to get stuff done.
Well, it took me 2 days to paint the doggone things, all the tops and bottoms. That's 90 pieces of wood you're painting.
Yeah, I bought 20 honey supers here, medium honey supers.
I hate painting.
Oh, you and me both. As a matter of fact, I called Houston yesterday. I said, Houston, what you doing? I'm at Lowe's getting some paint. He said, I like that. He liked that green color too. Did you find the green color?
I did, yeah.
All right. But you said you were just going to paint the fronts different colors, but you were going to use some other paint you had for the sides and the backs,
I got
right?
some old hook paint or whatever, you can get it knocked down off the gallons. Just paint the box and then spray the front.
Yeah, it works. It works. I've just see, this is the impulsive me. I see Jose's got queens on sale, right? So I'm like, order queens, bam. And then I'm like, but I don't have nothing for my queens to go, right? So I'm, you know what I mean? Now I got queens coming, so it's like, then I'm like, well, let me go ahead and start these mating nukes. And my first thought was I was just gonna make these splits and introduce Jose's queen to it. But then I'm like, oh, I got one. I have one. I've got a number from my ranch. And the only person that's got it on file is Better Be. Then it was like, well, if I put queens in these little nukes, then they're going to start laying up, and then it's going to be packed quick. Then I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do with them, right? So then I was like, well, I've been selling a lot of queens. Maybe I'll just sell the queens that I have laying right now, some of them, and then replace them with the queens I got from Jose, but then all of a sudden I'm not getting queen calls anymore, you know? So now I've got, oh, and on top of that, Jose was so gracious. I ordered 25 queens. He sent me 28 queens. So that was just extra queens, you know? So it's like,
Yeah,
I've got,
but you know, they give you those extra queens that if something happens in shipping and things like that, you know, if they die. So,
but he did good with his queens. I'm gonna tell you how his queens come. They come in the wooden 3-hole cages. Actually, he called it a California mini. There are no attendants in that cage with that bee.
that's right.
But inside the box was almost like a package. Yeah, I mean, it was full of bees.
I see a lot of them doing it that way.
Yeah, you got those attendant bees on the outside, and then they also put like a sponge in there with water, so they have something to drink too.
Well, what they use, I asked him about that this morning when I talked to him. He said they used to use the sponges, but he said for some reason they were having problems with them drying out over the shipping or whatever. So they took a Ziploc baggie and a baby diaper and cut the baby diaper that was soaked in water, and the bees just would soak the moisture out of the cotton, and it worked really well. I mean, they were doing good.
A lot more than a diaper would, yeah.
And
I mean, that's called a battery box is what they're shipping you.
No, they didn't ship me the battery box.
No,
it's just the cardboard box with the screen on it that they ship in, and then they had the wooden boxes in like a cube that was just taped together, or not taped together, rubber banded together.
Right.
And there's supposed to be some special queens in there, but I haven't pulled them all apart because in the block it's easier to bank them because the bees just cover it up and they can tend to the queens. But if I break them apart, then I got a bunch of cages all over the bank. So it's kind of crazy. Amir, I've got some Italians. I've got some Cutic K9s. That's like an Italian hybrid. I do have some Carniolans, but I'm not getting rid of those because they're kicking butt with honey right now. But they're all this year queens. So I've got plenty of queens at the moment. Every one of my colonies has a queen. I've got my 14 being made in my mating nukes, and I've got 24 of them still banked. So if you need queens, yeah, I'm not going to bank them too long. That's why I'm thinking about buying more nuke boxes.
They'll blow those two framers up pretty quick.
Well, can you when you got them queens and everything, are you doing nukes or are you trying to do more honey boxes?
Well, so at the beginning of the year, when we were discussing this, I only had 12 colonies.
Yeah,
so
now
my
you got 30.
No, I've got 35.
Well,
35.
You're up
30, 35 and 14 two-framers right now, and a separate yard. And so it's really went kind of crazy this year. But
that's why you need a 30 frame extractor.
Yeah, see, you were on point with that. I tell you what. So at the beginning of the year, the goal was to get, where I'm at now, about 35 colonies. And then nobody had queens in this area. So I was like, well, you know what? I'll get some queens, maybe make some splits and maybe sell a couple nukes, which I have. I've sold like only 4 nukes. But those 4 nukes paid for all the queens I used myself, so it's just kind of been one thing's led to another. And then it was like, well, I'm buying these queens, so they're costing me money. So I didn't want to mail them. I didn't want to mail any of the queens out because I'm like, well, if they die in transit, then I'm out the money that I paid for the queen. Where if I've raised it and it dies, yeah, it sucks, but it really didn't cost me anything. Does that make sense? So, so that was the thing. I just wanted to kind of be the middleman. But now that I've got these going, I hopefully, knock on wood, won't have to buy queens in the future unless I'm trying to introduce new genetics into the.
Right. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, yes, I raise my own, but like when you get bees, let's say from Jose or something like that, you want to buy, let's say, 4 or 5 of his bees. Let's say some of that special bee that Brian was talking about.
Yeah.
And check that bee out and say, hey, I really like the characteristics of this bee. Then you graft some of her eggs or larvae, and then breed that into your area, and you bring all those different types of genetics in.
So that's a New World Carniolan hybrid. So Sue Kobe comes to his yard, and it's a Carniolan queen that's inseminated with Caucasian sperm. So it's her eggs are all hybrid Caucasian Carniolan. So that's
Joe made
like direct cut there. He's talking about stacking boxes and stuff, and that's what I do. I put 5 over 5. I might go as high as four boxes tall. I try to keep, if it's deep, so I try to keep 5 over 5, 10 frames, just for easeability.
Well, it works good. If you can stack 5 over 5 and they build that out, then you can move them to a 10 frame.
Right. Or exactly. Now, what you do is, Bob, is if you do 5 over 5, my experience over the years is that they'll draw the wax out better. They perform better as far as the queen goes, because you got them packed tight. And they like to be packed tight.
Right.
And you can get them through the winter down where you're at. Surely you can get them through the winter easy peasy compared to up here. And if you'll put that nuke where you want that 10 frame, then there's no, movement and all that stuff. You're just going to pull out
reposition.
Just put them all in a 10 frame box, and voila, they're back in business. And they're at the same location, and they don't have to worry about orientation or anything like that.
Well, do you stack 2 over 2? Have you done that?
Yeah.
Have you done 2 over 2 and then move it to a 5 frame?
Yeah.
It works.
I
mean, if you're trying to grow the hive and grow the bees and all that, the orientation of that 5 frames is just, the bees like it.
Yeah, they like the vertical.
They like going up, and they like the density of the bees in the hives. It's packed tighter. I think they can regulate the heat better for the brood and all that kind of stuff. And that's what most people, when I try to explain that to a lot of folks about nukes, I said, it's not just a box, it's a tool. And it really makes a big difference in growing bees.
Well, and that was my reason all right. I got the honey colonies, right? I only came out of winter with 12. I was only expecting 12 colonies to produce honey. And I still only expect 12 colonies to produce honey.
Those nukes will produce honey if they get strong enough.
And I've been doing splits, right? Doing the splits and putting queens in and growing and growing and growing. That's all good. But my thought was, if one of my colonies queen dies, I can just simply go grab a queen and introduce her.
You got it's like in my hive area. All right, I got right behind me in the picture there. That's my mating boxes. All right, I'm mating May, June, and July. That's my mating.
How many do you run, John?
Huh?
How many?
I've been running 35 to 40. I mean, now I'm counting. Like Direct Cut talked about Jeff Palmer, Mike Palmer up there. Well, 10 years ago, Mike was one of the leading guys that you've seen out on the conference channels. And he talked about his 4 over 4 hives and his nucleus hives that are stacked side by side and all that information. And so I said, and another friend lady, you know, she's telling me what she's making, you know, selling bees or nukes. And I'm like, that's money for, that's where I want to go. So I think most people who do nukes, who sell nukes, they'll take a 10 frame and they'll pull a nuke out. They may go to, let's say, 5 different 10 frames, pull all the different parts of a nuke out and put it in one box, and then just put a queen in there. Where for me,
that's what I say.
Is that how you do it, Houston?
Yeah, but I didn't graft. I should have grafted, but what I done, I just pulled a split for that. I like that queen, and so I left the whole 10 frame to make my cells, and then hopefully if the cells turn out okay, I'm gonna put the cells in my 2 framer.
Will a 5 framer fit on top of 2 frames?
No, it's not wide enough.
The two frames side by side.
Oh, two frames. I don't know.
You know, kind of like they're talking about the Michael Palmer method. I wonder if a 5 frame would fit flush on two frames with a queen excluder.
I don't know. But anyway, you know, I got it to where I got three different flows here. I've got nukes, which I have normally in the wintertime. I want at least 25. I'm going through the winter, maybe close to 30. I have enough to do 30. Then I keep about 10 honey hives, 10 framers. Then I have my queen sales. So I'm kind of doing a little bit of everything. But like Bob is kind of got into it to where now he's got mating boxes, he's got nuke boxes, he's got 10 frame. And you have to kind of orchestrate that, you know, to your advantage.
Well,
and the next thing you really need to do is you just need to jump in and learn how to grab, you know, I mean, it's not that easy or hard. I mean, up around here, they talk about your glasses, you know, and how your eyesight and all that. And I'm like, you know, if you're really super young, you know, I had one kid I had here. I said, here's the magnifying unit. You know, I don't need it. He could see it. And so, I mean, I wear these glasses here, which are reader glasses. And then I put a magnification unit over top of them, and get yourself a little LED light, and you know that, you know, you can kind of use that to shine on those larvae, and kind of get them to reflect the light, so you can go in there with a Chinese grafting tool.
Right.
I just try to make sure I got a brood frame, you know, a good dark brood frame where I can see them good.
Yeah, that's another thing. I buy all black frame, all black plastic foundation. I buy the Acorn. That's for right now, as far as I know, that's what I like. I buy all complete plastic frames, and they're all triple wax. And there's some of them that go goofy on you, and then most of the time the bees are doing fine. Kind of depends on the year, what's happening. You know, if it's a flow on, they'll draw it out, and that kind of thing.
But my thought, I mean, it was all the same thing, right? So with the nukes, I just felt like if my honey colonies needed something, if I needed to give them a boost, I just go grab some cap brood and move it over.
You have resources, and you have options.
I got too many damn resources. Y'all need to come buy some stuff.
Yeah, but you have. The thing of it is somebody who has 4 hives. Let's say 4 10-frame honey hives. They don't really have any options but either to buy a mated queen, or if they would, you know, my suggestion to anybody is if you have 4 10-frame hives, you need 4 nucleus hives. So if one of those hives go down on you, you got yourself a backup.
Just drop the whole nuke right in it. Bam.
Absolutely, yeah. Right. You know, pull 5 frames out, drop that other nuke right in there, or paper it in, whatever you need to do, and they'll take.
Well, I had a colony that wasn't doing good. They couldn't requeen, and I got fed up with them. I just took a whole nuke that was queen right, plopped it right in, and they flipped the switch a little bit on it.
Right. I went out there today and I had some hives that I don't know, they were queenless basically is what I found of them. And so I found, I used their bees in there to populate my little two framers. And I had some more there that were just, there wasn't any, there was some nectar on there, but there wasn't any cat brood. And I'm like, what are you going to do with these? I'm just going to populate the two framers. I'm going to put a cell in there. She's going to hatch out, and within the next day or two, I'll do this. Probably not tomorrow because of the rain, depending on the weather. Either tomorrow or definitely Saturday, I'm going to put cells in them. She's going to hatch within a day to day and a half, and we'll see what happens after that.
That's what I'm doing with them packages. I'm just going to bust them all apart, and more odds of going
populate your comb. And I mean, I got the Gatorade bottles up top. I just use them to plug the hole up for now.
Now, what are you using to pierce to make the hole in it? What are you doing to make the feeder holes in it?
A drill and a drill press,
But what size hole are you putting in it?
Do
you know?
Not right offhand. I had some. It's really, I think, a 1/16 of an inch bit or less. But actually, I had some like metric bits here that I was using, and because the 1/16 is actually too big, I think it wants to stream down.
Right. The I think it was Greg. I don't know how to work with the plastic, but with the like the lid on a mason jar, he said just take a stapler, just staple it, and then just pull the staple out. It'll leave two little holes in there. And
yeah, because Hartman's down there in Georgia, they actually had they took a pair of vice grips, and there's a real sharp point, and they kind of gauged it, how far it stuck out of the end of the vice grips. And then they put like 2 or 3 holes in that sugar can, and that's it. And I think especially with your mating boxes like that, put no more than about 2 holes.
Right.
But if you got a flow on, they might be bringing in some nectar. And then another thing you can do is if there's some nectar frames in your hives, just pull the darn nectar frame out and put that nectar frame in there.
What I do with them 2 framers, if I don't have, a feeder on top, just make sure they got a feeder frame.
Yeah, I haven't put any liquid feed on them yet. I did put a little piece of fondant in a couple of them just to see how they would do with it.
Yeah, up here we got a nectar flow going on, and they don't need anything. They're fine, and they're not going to take any. If you give them sugar water, they're going to turn their nose up to it.
Hey, Brian.
Shit, mine's taking it down.
Really?
Keep my frame feeders full. They're pouring it on it, drawing comb.
One of Brian's flying.
Yeah, he said he's heading home. So back from. Did you get a case of canned air before you headed back to Ohio? He had this canned oxygen the other night when he was on.
Yeah, I seen that.
In Denver.
What's he do? Do you know?
He, I think, trains people on software at the hospitals, on his company's software.
So he's a computer guru.
Yes, sir. Let me see. I sharpened an old Allen wrench that was on the right size, and then see what I was doing is I was taking like an old sheetrock screw. They got those pretty sharp points in it, and I was just tapping little holes in the top of the jars. So with those little nukes, I was kind of thinking about doing what Brad does, with the pro nukes. I was just going to drill like a little, maybe 3/4 hole in the top and just set the mason jar upside down on it with a couple little holes in the center so they could come up.
That works.
And back in.
Well, actually, I don't put any liquid in these plastic
Bottles.
Bottles, yeah. I actually found that I'll show it. I'll make a video of it or something. Anyway, I take a pint jar and put those lids that you buy for feeding sugar water. Yeah, and
Are you
just
talking about for like a Boardman feeder?
yeah, the little white jars. Yeah, I've got a few of them lids. Anyway, I put that on there, put it right on top of that hole, and then I made a box that fit over top of that to keep the sun off of it, and that works well, and all. But
The yeah, that's gonna be the. I got so much. If I could be out there all day, every day at this point, just to get caught up with all the stuff that I could do. Right.
see, that's always been that's always been my question. And people, I ask the professionals, the commercial guys and other people that do have a lot of hives. And maybe I'm doing it and maybe I'm looking at like, how do you manage 50 hives or more? And, they'll say, yeah, like I put supers on last week. Okay. Well, it was 2 medium boxes. I raised the top medium box, looked underneath. No, there's no queens or swarm cells or cups. If there was a cup, most of them were empty. So I just scraped them with a knife or the hive tool and dropped it back down, put an empty super on and restacked everything, and I was done and all that. And I know a lot of guys do stuff like that, but
yeah, I'm never caught up.
well, I mean, trying to manage and know where those hives are at.
Right.
Do they have too much brood? Are they going to get ready to swarm on you? That kind of stuff. Well, the only way I can do that is to go through the hives frame by frame for the most part, or kind of look off to the side and see if I see brood. It's like I went into the first hive tonight, and it had one frame was carpet brood from corner to corner, and this was a deep frame. These are the, all 5 frame deeps.
Right.
I do some medium nukes too, and I found the queen, and she had like 4 frames of brood in that thing. And I said, well, I don't want to take all the cat brood out, so I think I took 2 or 3 frames of the real big. Well, I left her with one big one and took there was one with a small patch. I said, well, that's good for that little nuke. I don't want to overpopulate that little 2-framer.
That's a good idea.
And so I took, but I pulled that brood out. So she, I'm like, okay, and give her some empty. And it's like, she's good to go for several weeks, and because, as far as cat brood goes.
Well, see, that was the thing with these.
But trying to manage that and get out into the hive to go through 30 of them. And, I'm more of a weekend beekeeper because I work during the week.
Right.
And then you got this weather that we've been having, and we've had weekends of rain all the time. And then you get out and try to do it in the middle of the week. And then if it's in the evenings after around 4:30, then you only have a few hours of really good sunlight.
See, that was the thing with these doing the walk away. It's basically, I could put the frames in there. I know for 3 weeks, ain't nothing going to be happening in there, right? They're going to create cells. I can go back and check, make sure they have cells. But other than that, it's 16 days before they hatch, another week before she flies out and maybe gets mated. And then, then it's time to start looking at something else with that. But then here's the other problem. So she goes out and comes back mated. Now I got to have something to do with this queen. Otherwise, that box will get full. So what I was thinking is only fill up half of these 30 that I've got, right? I've got 14 right now. See what comes back mated. Once she starts laying a pattern, then I can pull that frame out and move it and make a split to one of the other ones, right? So I'm only using half of my colonies, and that way it buys me a little bit of extra time with that queen when I drop another frame in there for them to draw out and for her to lay in. Hopefully,
you're gonna have to just get you some more nuke boxes, man.
Well, I need more land. I've got 18 acres down there, but they haven't really said how many bees I could put out there. I just told them if I start bringing too many bees,
Yeah, let me know. Huh?
let me know. So, I got 5 nukes over there right now that have no competition around them. So I imagine they're going to build up pretty good right there. I checked them Tuesday. They look fine. And, they're going to start having brood hatching out in the next week or so. And it's going to start going off over there too. So now I'm going to be not only having to manage all this I've got over here, but now I got to make sure I make it down there.
You'll have to move those up in 10 frame pretty quick once you're going to just get more nukes and stack.
Well, yeah, that's the question, right? So now that's why I'm back to having to buy more equipment, right? So that's kind of where I'm at now. I've got mediums, but none of my medium frames are drawn up they're being used for honey right now, right? So I don't have any medium foundation drawn that I could drop on them and let them just start building.
Start sliding some in there, and then what they build on the bottom, just cut it off and put it in your wax melt.
And that's a good idea.
You mean medium nuke boxes, you mean? Or?
Yeah, so I've got a bunch of supers, right? I've got extra supers for the day as long. But like if I wanted to stack 2 mediums and use it as a brood box like you do, instead of using a deep box,
right,
then I don't have any drawn medium for brood rearing. It's all going to be bigger comb for honey. So that's a whole nother issue altogether. Unless I just shake all the bees into an empty box and block them in. And
comb on the bottom. If they drew good comb, you just cut that off and put that on up in other frames too. You can get them to draw comb.
So if you're in my area and need queens, at this particular moment, I am your man for sure. I've got more queens that I know what to do with, and hopefully more coming on the way from my own splits there. So, yeah, I've never had the issue where I had too many queens.
You say you got those ones from Jose.
Yep.
And then you did these splits in these 2 framers.
Yep.
Why
I don't have any queens in these 2 framers. They're just.
Well, why don't you take them out of that banking and put them in them 2 framers?
That's what I told him.
Now, if they start laying up them 2 framers, then what am I going to do with them when they pack those things out?
Huh?
I got bees, son. I don't have.
You got more bees.
So my thing was, everyone says,
well, you lay them up in the 2 framers, and then you transfer them over to let's say a 5 frame box, and then you grow them up into 5/5, and then you put them in 10 frame, and now you got more honey hives, and then you need to stop. You need to say, okay, I got enough here.
Well, and wait to see how many die over winter.
Well, if you got how many 5 frame boxes can you overwinter?
Well, every 5 frame nuke that I did last winter made it. All of them did.
Yeah, I know. But do you have 20 or 30 of them or what?
Oh my God! I just bought those ones I burnt. That was 5. I had 10. I got about 20 nuke boxes right now.
Right, so you need to populate.
Well, all of them
20 nuke boxes.
That's the problem. That's the problem. They are populated right now.
All of them, and they got all queens in them.
And
then you got 23 framers or 2 framers.
I got 32 framers, but 14 of them have brood in them, or have brood and eggs right now.
Yeah, well,
so you got too many queens.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Come buy some, Brad.
You're not shipping, are you, Bob?
Huh?
You're not shipping any, are you?
My beekenomics are getting ahead of me, DC. Well, the thing was, I bought Jose's queens because he had them on sale, and I had sold the last 2 that I had banked. I didn't have any banked. And then someone called me the next day and bought 2 more. So I had 2 hives that were queenless. I'm like, well, just as I sell these queens that I had in Cutic that's been laying, then I'll just, because they've been laying, right? They haven't been banked now. They've been laying.
Somebody will call.
And then I'll reintroduce one of Jose's queens to it. But I don't have the luxury of time with that. So I might have to do that. I might just have to take a frame, boom, 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 and all them colonies, drop the queens in, and hope someone comes and buys some.
You know, they're better. It's much better for the queen to be able to be in that 2-framer laying.
Yeah, than in that bank.
Yeah, in that bank. You know, you don't want her to shut down. And number 2, if she lays up a frame full of brood, pull the brood out, put an empty in there, and just work her until you can.
Well, I could take that brood and strengthen up some of my weaker 10-framers.
There you go.
And all right, see, that's why we do this, guys. Exactly.
And look, you can also, if you're running out of room, those nukes, put your divider board in those nukes and put 2 queens in one of your 5-frame nukes.
Then it would be still a 2x2, right?
But if you need the room to put a queen,
right? So
I would take them queens. If you got them banked, I'd put them right into those splits that don't have any queens, and let her go. And then
Brad did tell me that earlier.
Keep pulling the brood out, and
he wants to make more queens right now, though. He wants to make more queens, and he got too many now.
Well, my thought is, in about a month, when people start making splits after the honey harvest, they're going to need queens. They're going to want queens. And guess who's going to have queens?
They'll be calling.
This guy. Going to have
split those nukes and put all them queens in them boxes.
And that's the other thing. I'm going to have to split some of them big colonies, right? That I've got. They got 5 supers on them. I'm going to have to do something with them too. So
what you need to do is make some
shaking them in some Home Depot boxes. Cut a hole in it.
What you need to do is make you some screen bottom boards or double screen bottom boards and some new tops. And when you split those big hives, either take a super off and make a hive out of it.
That's
take a medium off.
Yeah, that would be a good idea too.
Yeah,
take a double screen bottom
and make a hive out of it.
Yeah, I mean you're having a double or a double queen hive right there, one on top of each other.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, this is ramped up pretty quick,
I made a mistake. I got some hives in my garden, and there was this queen that I loved the way she laid and stuff like that. So I pulled one of her, she was making swarm cells or starting to, and I pulled one of them and moved them up into a super over a double screen bottom board. Well, she hatched out and started laying and was doing a bang up job, and I never moved them. Well, right now I didn't want to move them because they're both making honey, and I got a hive that's like 8 foot tall, and it's got this double screen bottom board in the middle, and I got to take all the boxes off the top hive to get to the bottom hive.
Yeah,
it's a nightmare.
When they start getting that tall, I feel like it's just as beneficial to go ahead and just pull the supers off and give them fresh supers lower.
Like TM hives. Just those mega hives,
Yeah, I mean, I under super. The science folks say that doesn't really matter, but
I think it does.
I think it does.
Yeah, I do too.
All that. But now my biggest thing is like I've got these frame or hives that I got out there. I got one's got 5x5 supers on. Most of them got anywhere from 3 to 4 supers on, and they're heavy. And I'm like, what the heck? I have got to get something to lift these things off.
Hey, that fondant, that was the best tip you've ever told me yet, I think.
What's that?
Buy that fondant, because nobody down here uses fondant. But now that I'm doing queens, every one of them JZBZs don't have fondant in the hole, so I got to go get fondant and stuff it in the hole now. So
Barnyard selling that fondant now.
They're doing fondant too now?
50-pound boxes, I think it was like $75.
That's high.
It was
You can buy 10
Something
pounds for
brown.
like $15 at Walmart.
I ain't never bought it. I always just make mine. I noticed that, they had it ready. And
Well, I bought that for emergency feed because Charlie said, just get you some fondant because the other bees won't really come to try to rob a small colony out for fondant.
right.
So my nukes and stuff, instead of giving them liquid, I've just been giving them a small piece of fondant. So if they need it, they've got access to something with sugar in it, right?
I've got some left over that I made last winter, and I'm going to be using.
Yeah, the beehive homestead. Pull one frame out until you can lift it. Well, I can lift it all right, but it's just that takes too long. You got to get in, pull them 4 boxes off, check out, see what's going on, throw that queen excluder back on, and put a empty on or whatever you need to do. I've been, like I say, I think I said once before about what Mike Barry's got, that hive lifting machine, and I like to run that thing first before I spend that kind of money. I wish that guy.
The only thing, I mean, it looks great. The only thing it looks like it's a little when you lift the hive too high, it gets unbalanced.
It gets top heavy.
Yeah,
especially because they're not
lifting
way down and push it up on a platform or something.
Especially since the hive isn't supposed to be perfectly level; it's supposed to slant away, so the water.
The ground's not. I mean, my ground is level, flat, but I mean, you can always hit a little divot in the ground, a little hole, and there go two.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
So
man,
that thing works pretty good. They even make them now that you can have it's a motorized wheel to help you like go up a ramp.
Well, I've seen some of them ones overseas where they have like you say, a motorized motor on the bottom wheels.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, that's even better yet,
Yeah.
But trying to find that kind of equipment in this, you can't get it in this country. And Daisy, I do use excluders. And I also I've been the last 2 years now doing single brood chamber management, which I've got a couple of videos out on that. One's the mechanics about it, on how it works. And this year I've had queen issues. I've had some queenless hives and stuff, and I'm not sure whether because I marked them so I could see them better while I have queen issues, or whether they were just too old.
I had problems with queens returning.
How long do you run your queens, Charlie?
Well,
season.
At least I figure at least a couple of years. I mean, they don't work that well,
right?
But
see, I kind of do it like horse farming, right? It's like you ride them until they're no good anymore, then you put them in a nuke and let them live out their days and generate as much as they can that I can pull and put in other hives.
That's one thing that changes when you are able to graft your own queens, is that you get that attitude. Oh, you're not performing. Guess what? We'll take a hive tool test and see how it goes. And I'm going to drop another queen out of that there mating box that I've got that they're laying up here.
Hey, I'll tell you what, I have not been scared to go to that queen bank and, doesn't look like there's no eggs in here, no cat brood. Here you go. Here's a new queen. I mean, real quick, right? Don't even think about how much that queen costs. It's just, boom, new queen. And if you saw the JZBZ cages I got laying around everywhere.
He's more valuable laying for you than bank anyways.
Yep, and that was kind of my philosophy, and then I changed my philosophy on these two framers watching Barnyard Bees. So you guys, is it unanimous? Everybody tell me in the chat, take Jose's queens and move them to the two framers, or keep them banked? Put it in the comment. Put them in the two framers.
Two framer.
Two framer.
Two framer.
So the real question is,
send them to me with free shipping.
With free,
there you go.
You know how much shipping costs to get those things here? I spent all the money I saved on shipping to get them out here. But if they do good, it was worth it.
How much shipping? How much was shipping on that stuff?
Like $100,
a little over $100.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It was overnight, right?
But here's what I was looking at. So when I drive down to Cutix and spend $700, it took me 3 hours round trip and gas, right? And it cost me $700. But when I paid Jose $719, they came to my door the next day.
Right.
So
that's 6 hours of your time you did.
yeah, and I didn't $19 in gas, right? So I saved that.
Man, you got that thing figured out down to the penny.
Hey, bro, Beekenomics, I'm telling you, I'm a cheap bastard. I know it don't seem like it. I know it don't seem like it, but I am a pretty frugal guy. I mean, all you guys see on the channels, oh, he bought 30 boxes and he's doing this and he's doing that. But none of that money came out of my bank account. That money was all off of honey money.
And all of that money could have been in your bank account.
Right. But we got to look at the big picture. Right?
It just never made it there to be taken out.
Right. So I've been fortunate with selling honey and being able to sell the queens that I bought. And because, guys, this is how I think. And you guys probably think I'm crazy. But every time I bought 25 queens, they gave me 26.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that extra queen, that free,
like that, they always see it.
That free queen got put in a nuke. And that nuke, once she was released and was laying brood, got sold for $200. So those 4 nukes that I sold with free queens in it was just bees from my colonies with the frames and a free queen. So those 4 nukes paid for 25 queens and $100 extra. So
sometimes you get the dead one, and no extra.
That's the economics.
And then yes, I am still doing peppermint. I am. Yep. I actually need to get some more peppermints.
So is that still doing good for you, Bob, at peppermint?
It is. I need to. I don't keep peppermint on it all the time, guys. When I see a beetle, it gets peppermint. And I saw a couple beetles today, so I know I need to put some peppermint out there, but I don't have any that hadn't been sitting out in the rain and heat and melting in the bag and everything.
Either it's working or there's something wrong with the hive beetles this year.
Right.
Because I have had hive beetles every year, and in my 2 framers, if I didn't have my 3 framers, if I didn't have a strong amount of bees in there, they got slimed out.
Right.
I think that's how many beetles we had over here.
But now, are you doing the candy stuff, Brad?
Yeah.
Is it?
And I also made my pollen patties with spearmint and peppermint oil. And now every time I pull up, it could be like, no matter what hive I went to, it was a big hive, a small hive. If I put a pollen patty in there that they didn't finish up in a couple of days, I pull it open and the bottom was just lined with larvae.
Larvae, yeah.
And now when I pull open a patty, there's either none or one little bitty one.
And most of the patty's probably gone too.
Yeah.
So that's
one thing I noticed, like Rose Brian was talking about, is those patties that he was using. I forget what they're called.
The Hive Life
patty.
Hive Alive.
Yeah, Hive Alive patties. They seem to consume them quickly.
Yeah, they've got the stimulant in them.
And
well,
I think they're probably better than the Ultra Bee, to be quite honest with you.
The good thing about here's the thing. I could agree with the statement that you just made about maybe the beetles aren't as strong this year, but that could be the case. But it's working in Louisiana. It's working in South Carolina. It's working in Ohio. It's working in Kentucky. Somebody would have to be able to say, it's not working for me, right? There would have to be somebody that would be the anomaly that would say, I'm still noticing the same amount of beetles, but everybody that's doing it.
Look at there, Silver Gorilla. He put it in his yard, and now you don't even see anymore.
Yeah, that's what I noticed when you put them in there.
Yeah, I didn't see these ran out. of a peppermint, and I started seeing beetles.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly my experience as well.
I tried to, some folks up in Pennsylvania about them, and they just want to.
It's too simple.
Well, they just turned to a deaf ear. I'm like, I says, oh, it doesn't, they kind of joked about it. I said, well, then, if you have a problem,
What do you have to lose?
What do you got to lose? Try it. I don't know whether it works. I don't have a beetle problem in my area, but just try it. I mean, if you got that bad of a problem, and
when they kick in and run a hive, it's the nastiest thing.
Look at Sarah. Every time I've used peppermint, I have not seen a beetle. I'm telling you, I had somebody come to my house that lives around the corner from me that had a bad beetle problem. And they came and we went through 15 colonies out here. We saw 3 hive beetles out of 15 colonies, and 2 of those were in one colony. And they stopped and bought peppermints on the way home, put them in the colonies, and he sent me a message the other day again. I still don't have hive beetles. I'm like,
the only problem, the thing that I heard was, is your honey going to taste like peppermint? And I'm thinking to myself, well,
there's not enough in there.
Well, they're not
that big.
storing it. They're eating the candy itself, the actual candy. And, you got to remember, a bee's got a honey crop. That's where they store the nectar, and they have a stomach. So are they storing? It's not nectar that they're eating. It's hard. Now, whether their enzymes in their mouth are breaking it down to a liquid, I don't know. But they might be just eating it like what we do, and it goes through them. But I think somebody here on the channel said that maybe it was Hillbilly, that their tongue is coated with that peppermint, and the beetles don't like to be fed, because they'll trick the bees to feed them.
They'll massage it for biscuits.
And they don't like what they get, so they leave or die or whatever.
And the thing that I thought about with the, so we know when the beetles slime out, right? The little maggots burrow underneath the brood and everything. And so my thought was when I put it in the pollen sub and made those patties for the experiment. As far as I know, I was the first guy to do that. I don't know. But I put it in the pollen patty, and if they're storing that sub in the cells in the rainbow, that's like a natural barrier around the brood to keep the beetles.
If they're putting a pollen patty, and I don't believe they store it at all.
Oh, they absolutely store
pollen patty.
Absolutely, I've seen it in the frames. You can tell the difference in it. Mm-hmm. Pollen sub, they'll definitely store it in there. I mean, you can tell the cells look exactly the same color as the pollen.
Yeah, because I feed it in the wintertime. I say in the winter, in January, to get them to start building up. And when I put that pollen patty on there, you can start seeing it in the frames.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've fed them pollen powder, and they'll store it. And that's the problem I have. I'll go through hives, and I'll have a frame that's just loaded with pollen. I'm like, well, there's a junk frame. I pull it out because if there's 3 or 4 of them, it's just too many. I mean, they're just wasting space.
Yeah, I pulled out some today to put in my queen wearing box I'm going to make. But I had a hive, and the reason I found that I had a hive, it was 2 deeps and 3 medium supers. And matter of fact, I had got those white frames from you, Bob.
Right.
I had checkerboarded them in some frames that were already drawn out, but no nectar stored in them, just drawn out frames. I checkerboarded them in between the 2 supers. And when I checked on the supers I'd say about 2 weeks ago, they had started to make 1 queen cup on those new frames, those super frames, on them white ones. like right in the center or offside to the center. So I tore them down. I'm there like, because they had just started building the wax out, and you could just tell there was a little round cup they were making. And that was the end of it. I didn't check it. And I went into them today and full of bees, and I was going to check those supers out. And when I pulled that first white frame out, that was a super seeder cell on it. One in the middle of that new white frame super. And every white frame in the center of that box, I think that was 4 of them, had a super seeder cell on it.
Really?
And
that's weird.
I looked for the queen, couldn't find the queen, so I don't know if they already killed her or not. No, and that was 2 more cells, like on the brood frames in the center of the brood on 2 different frames. So I just pulled them. I left 2 in there, and then pulled the other 4 out and put them in 4 little nukes that the queens hadn't come back and been mated.
Well, I'm gonna ask y'all a very stupid question here, and this is how rookie I am, guys. So please don't unsubscribe. So I've never gotten those California mini queen cells before cages. I've always gotten either a 3-hole cage or a JZBZ. This is just a matter of fact. The queen can't hardly turn around in there. That's how small they are. And
you talking about the ones you got from Jose?
Yeah. So what I did is I just set them on top of the frames, and right on top of where the brood would be, right? And I had a feeder shim on top of the box, so that was fine. But how would you introduce that into like the 2-frame nuke? Would I just push that into the comb that's there and leave the mesh out?
Yeah.
No. Well, you don't want to have the mesh where the other frame is going to cover it.
Well, yeah, one's undrawn though, right? So it's just one wax frame.
I guess you could do it that way, but usually you either put the mesh down or up. So that
the barnyard puts an empty in there and then turns the queen cage up on the empty on the bottom.
Yeah, but he uses foundationless frames, and I've got plastic blanks in there.
Yeah, I would still put it up or down, not against that other frame.
Because I can't, because of the migratory cover, I can't set it on top of the frame, right? I'll probably. So you're saying either put the mesh down and push it into the side of the wax?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'd just push it in the wax where they could still dig her out of there.
Do you graft, Brad?
I've done it before. I didn't this year. I'm going to do it this year again.
Okay. Now I was talking about.
I've had so many swarm cells this year that I didn't have to graft. I mean, I must have had.
Well, I'm looking at the thickness of the grafting frame, and one guy I've seen somewhere talk about
put it down,
cutting those shoulders off, and that way it reduces that webbing in between the cells and stuff, and all. And I was wondering how well that really does work, but I think even Stepper does that. I'm gonna have to try that.
Oh, you talk about to keep them from building the webbing between the cells?
Yeah.
The like other videos that I've watched, like even Cayman, if you have like a starter strip, you put a frame with a starter strip in there, and they'll, like, the day you put your cells in, you put that starter strip in somewhere, and they'll go draw on that starter strip, and they won't draw on them.
Yeah, I've tried, and that does work. I put a whole foundation frame in there, and they'll draw that sucker out.
Mm-hmm.
And but they've also talked about that the cell is like 3/4 of an inch, and if you'll whittle that frame down to where it's only an inch wide, take the shoulders off. And then that puts your nectar close, and puts your pollen close, and they won't, they'll just draw those cocoons out. And one thing I've noticed over that's why I have an incubator, is that once that cell is capped, I pull that frame out of there because they'll web that thing up sure as the dickens.
Mm-hmm.
and put it in the incubator. And actually, I find when you're selling cells to people that it's, all you got to do is go to the incubator, and like on my refrigerator, you open it up, pull them out and pull the cell off. I put it in I usually, if there's a McDonald's cup or a drink cup, I put some paper towels in there and just put that cell in the middle and say, here it is, put it in, as soon as you get home.
I didn't have an incubator, but I grafted in those cups that you can put that like hair roller cage over.
Mm.
And as soon as they capped it, I just slipped that over it to keep them from drawing on it.
Right.
See, now that segues us into my queen rearing equipment here.
Yeah, what was that? Yeah, you bought something special there. What is that?
Well, I wish I could say I bought it. This was actually gifted to me from Blythewood Bee Company when Scott was on our show.
Right.
So this is the Saracell queen rearing kit. It comes with 4 of these frames that have tracks in them. And what would I do with my other little thing? Oh,
now, Bob, I want to ask you something about that.
Mm-hmm.
Does it have a bar to where something holds them while you're grafting on it? Or do you have to just hold each individual cup and graft?
No, you would have to hold the cup. You'd have to graft them on the cup, these little cups. Mm-hmm. So, the other queen rearing kit, you got this that's on the frame, the bar, right?
Yeah, that's what I got.
And then you've got this that goes over that, right?
That's holder, yes. That's like Nikot.
And then you got the little cap that goes in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with the Saracell, it's got a one-piece cup that you graft right into the cup, and then the cup locks it. It's got 2 channels, guys. You can put it here, and it locks in. You just twist it, or you can put it in there however you want to do it. And then I've already got one in here into the roller cage, but you just hang the roller cage right over top of it. What I got in there? A dead bee or something in the bottom?
Twisted out.
Yeah, I didn't have an incubator, so I had to use roller cages and leave them in the hive.
Thanks, Dan.
Excuse me. But yeah, you just stick the roller cage right on top of it. And you know what? Say that again.
Price on them?
So you get 4 frames. You get 80 of these cups. You get 2 Chinese grafting tools. You get the beautiful wheel, and all of it for $70.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the Nikot system Lee bought was $125 from Better Bee. So, it's a good price. I don't know what
now the regular JZ, BZ, or whatever you call them. Mm-hmm. They don't have anything that you can buy to slip over the cells, do they?
I don't think so. I think they have to be hatched out before. It would be neat if they had something where they would just hatch right into the JZBZ.
Yeah.
Charlie might know something for them. And then the other thing, sorry, my headset. The other thing that I got when I was there that I showed the other day, which I thought was pretty cool. I haven't used it yet, as you can see. But
that feeder?
This little feeder.
I thought that was a giant beetle trap.
Maybe it is. Maybe they'll get up in there and drown.
Is that a feeder or is that a pollen trap?
This is a feeder. So you set it right on top. They can go up through this hole right here. Go over the little triangle ramp. Get to the food. It's got a little bee cage right in the middle. If I could pull it out, little divider board.
So you could build a shim and put them in a shim. And
so this is actually solid. I thought the fluid would actually pass through there, but that's solid, and the fluid just comes in these little holes right here in these little cutouts right.
Yeah, it goes underneath of it. That's like most of them do.
And then it's just got a little bucket that you pour the slurp in, and it's right there, just like that. It's got a vent in the top. I'm going to try this. I haven't, obviously I haven't tried it yet, but this was something they just had in the warehouse that she was like, I don't even know how much it cost us, where we got them from or anything. They have a limited number of these. They have some.
You only need 19 more.
No, it ain't happening. See, that's the problem with beekeeping right there.
You said you
Well,
had 20, 25 framers. Now you need 19 more.
that's only $5, but just to add this feeder, that's another 100. And you got
you need
40
a shim for it. You need
Yep.
a shim to set it on top of the hives.
There you go. So that's the issue. It's
I'll
always
be back in a minute.
all right. It's always you bought this, now you got to buy that, and oh wait, you got that, now you got to buy this, and that's the worst part about it. And especially if you've got more than one or two colonies. If you got two colonies, yeah, it's not a big deal, right? But when you start saying, okay, oh, this is really cool, this works. Oh, now I got to buy 50 of them. Oh, just stab you in the heart and turn the knife, I like it. It would work great for me. Yeah, I'm sorry, Michael. I'm sorry, Mike. I got run in my mouth. Didn't see you down there. You all right?
Well,
Yeah, I'm fine. I was just trying to figure out how to unsubscribe from your channel after
That stupid question?
I didn't even hear the stupid question.
Oh, good. Well then,
yeah, when you're in the back room, you can't hear anything, can you, Mike?
I thought you could still hear the conversation. You couldn't?
I was popping. Charlie'd appreciate this. I was popping popcorn.
But see, did you microwave it or did you really pop it like old school pop it?
You guys can't. If you look over this over here, you guys actually see a movie theater popcorn popper back there.
Oh yeah, that is
Got the
right.
red thing on it. Yeah.
Those things are nice.
I do them both. So
they're just probably a pain to clean, right? After you do it, or not that bad.
Yeah, and you want to stay on top of it. I keep that around for the kids and movie night. That's a good treat. So you guys have had quite a great active conversation going on here. I've been trying to catch up on it.
Maybe we need to have Lee not on more often. No, I'm just kidding. He ain't watching. Don't tell him. Nobody tell him. Shh. No, just kidding.
Oh, hey, sorry, dry cut. Yeah, popcorn.
But
got you there. Yeah. So I just got off the phone here with my friend Troy Slaughter, and he's going to be starting to graft queens tomorrow, I think. And awesome. I think he's doing a batch of 40.
Nice.
Yeah, we're going to be supplying him a bunch of the 10 frame divided 3 frame mating boxes.
What's his typical take rate? What percentage that he usually gets?
I think it's like 85.
That's not bad.
And I could be wrong, but one thing that he has there, Bob, is that he has his mating boxes spread way out. So, the queens find it a little bit easier to get back to. They're not, congealed or put together quite as closely as yours. And I'm kind of concerned about your take rate when you've got them that stacked. But what do I know? I want you to prove me wrong on that one.
Well, that's going to be a great question. I'm just looking at how this whole thing was really on Blythewood Bees, not Blythewood Bees, sorry, Barnyard Bees, how he does 2 frame nukes. It might have 0 success. I don't know. I honestly don't.
Runs,
I think he has those spread out a bit more.
Yeah, he doesn't put them side by side until wintertime.
No, I mean rows, Bob. The rows themselves.
Oh, okay, I
don't
got
think
you.
The rows is quite as close together as yours are. So
well, hopefully my bees aren't colorblind because they're all pretty different in colors.
I heard some mention that you were using spray cans to paint your hives.
I sure do. All that. Every one of those are Krylon Max primer paint.
It turns out good too.
Matter of fact, all of the colonies, if you see a painted box out in my yard, all of them were done with Krylon Max.
No, is that like an enamel or what is that?
It's just a semi-gloss indoor-outdoor paint primer mix, spray paint. And, when you spray it, of course, it stinks at first like spray paint, but after a little while out in the sun and outside, you get no scent to them. So
I'm thinking it's an enamel. I don't, but I've just never heard anybody doing that. I don't get along too well with spray cans because when I put it down, I don't see the contrast.
Right.
and those sure look pretty. I got to give you that.
Well, I was not very selective. I went to Ace Hardware and bought what they had. And I didn't really want to do white boxes, but I've got some white boxes and tops and whatnot. But we'll see how they hold up. I mean, who knows? Next year, this whole experiment might be, I might be pissed, and they might all be sitting back in the woods somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, well, you all never know, or you just might.
But you see Charlie's row there. They're side by side.
You know, and I'm not talking about them being side by side. I'm talking about the rows being packed that close together, front to back. That's what I'm getting at there. And by the way, guys, I don't know why you said that, but I don't think Charlie looks like a weevil. So.
Nobody ever said. Oh,
Nobody said that,
Charlie. He brought you a gift. Mike brought you a gift on the screen.
Yeah. We were making popcorn here for the movie.
Okay.
Did you see Maverick? Did you get to see it?
I got pepperoni tonight.
Oh, you do? Oh, you got me beat. I didn't find Maverick. I didn't find that yet. So I did watch the latest. There was some movie called The Northman. It's, being Minnesota Norwegian heritage, I found that really interesting. But no Maverick. Sorry. So.
Yeah, I'm feeling much better after all those things.
Thank you for bringing that up. I really wanted to ask about that.
Benadryl was the champ.
Yeah, you look pretty rough there, buddy.
Oh, I felt pretty rough. I was running a fever, ankles and everything were swelling up. It was tough. I've never been in a colony that pissy before. And you guys have seen my pissy colonies. This one would whip my colony's ass all day.
Well, how are
every
they
day.
stinging you though?
Through my pants. Right through my pants, through my socks, crawling everywhere. If they could get to you at all, they were getting to you.
Man alive, I'm sorry to hear that.
That was that guy's Hive or something or other?
Yeah, it was my buddy's. All right, so my buddy's dad was a beekeeper and he got sick, right? And he hadn't been able to go in his colonies, and then he passed away like 3 months ago. And my buddy went out there last week and just added a super on top of them. Now they've got like 4 or 5 supers tall, but none of the boxes had been in probably a year. And they had literally built comb from frame in between frame to frame all the way down through all the supers. So the first 2 colonies went through is pretty normal, nothing. We smoked them, everything was fine. But that other colony, they didn't care. They were flying hot smoker. They were flying in the hole, climbing in the hole of the smoker, landing on the hot smoker, and just literally incinerating themselves and falling off dead when they landed on it. They just were suicide bombing it. They didn't care.
How many hives were there?
They only had 3 out there.
Yeah, and that might be one of the few times I'd actually, and I almost never say this, but a bucket of hot soapy water and be done with it.
And, for him now, it's, I think it's a sentimental thing, because he would go out there on occasion and help his dad with the bees.
Oh, yeah, I get that.
And now that his dad's passed and he's trying to learn and catch up to the game, which is fine. He's probably going to have to split those by next month anyway. Otherwise, he'll be catching them out of the tree because it's slam packed. I mean, it's slam packed with bees.
The hot one is.
Yeah, it's packed. And he said he's never seen 5 supers on that colony. And the super he put on last week was already full. I mean, it wasn't all the way capped, but it was full of nectar already. And I mean, I've never seen a plastic frame, the bottom of the plastic frame, the bottom bar right here.
Yeah.
Literally snapped off in the comb when I wiggled the box to move the super.
Okay.
And it was stuck in the comb. So I'm cleaning the comb off that has honey dripping from it, and the more I'm scraping, the more piss they're getting. And we did get it back to manageable. Like there's no cross comb in between the frames and stuff now. But at the same time, he's like, well,
Brad.
how often should you go in there? Well, I'd be going in once a week at least.
Yeah,
Larry does have a channel. It's right there.
Yeah, most of them mean from robbing. Oh yeah, that's right, Larry. Yeah, robbers can get hot, but it'll be interesting to find out though when you get back to it. See the next time you go through it, see how hot they are. And what time of day was it that you went through them?
I was there about 12:30, right midday.
Okay.
So that means the foragers were out, right?
Well, yeah, for the most part. I mean, unless they got something really close, so who knows? But Bob, if the guy's just starting out again, or if you can't get that thing, if that thing isn't calmed down the next 2 times you go through it, no, kill him. Just cull the whole hive.
I don't even think they'll allow a new queen in there. If you did try to requeen them, I don't think they would take her.
Well, like I said, this is
and that's if you could even find the queen in the box, because there's so many bees in there.
Yeah, I'd love to get rid of that genetics, that entire genetic line, if it's that hot.
Oh, it was the worst one I've seen. Definitely the worst one I've experienced. And I've had some bad ones. I take stings, it's not a big deal. But when they're crawling up your pant legs and stinging your socks and stinging your legs and stinging your crotch and stinging your butt and everything. I mean, they didn't care. Wherever they would hit you, they were trying to sting you. The gloves, the fingers, the arms, everywhere.
Charlie, what do you think of that?
I had one, actually it was my cousin. She had just started out beekeeping. And I went down there and that hive went berserk. And she started to come out of the garage, which was behind her garage. She said, get inside. And she had chickens. It actually stung those chickens so much it killed 3 of them. Wow. And we actually had to, she was gathering the chickens and they were stinging around the eyes, I think. And she was wiping the bees and sticking them inside a coop so the bees couldn't get to them. And
that video where they had a hot hive that attacked a man's pigs and killed 3 of them in his barn.
Really?
Yeah, and
it's a guy. I haven't seen that.
Well, they had a little dog like you do.
That was one of them soap and water deals right there.
They have a little dog up there like you have, Brad, and it was way up at the house. And we walked away from the hives back to the house, and the bee stung that dog. You heard it. I mean it.
Yeah. I honestly, somebody put something up about a skunk harassing Joshua. No, this is something different. This is not that.
Oh, plus the hives are up tall. The skunk couldn't even reach them.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, it sounds like you do have a hot hive, and bucket of hot soapy water, and don't look back, man. You're talking about the thing being hot to a point. But right now, the way you're talking about going up there and getting the dog, then it's crossed the line to dangerous.
Well, so, it was, after going through the first 2, and we didn't experience that, but we get in that other one.
Yeah.
It was, you're going to get the flight, but I mean, they were trying to get it in for real.
Yeah. I had one hot hive that when the neighbors or something, the hive was about 30, 40 feet away from the fence. And if he went in his shed and knocked, because he did a lot of beating in his shed, building stuff, a couple of them would leave out the hive and go after him. Or if you were anywhere is walking around, a couple of them would come out and try to sting you. And then to work in the hive, they were just always in my face the whole time, during the whole time.
They were bouncing on you.
Yeah. And I found the queen, pinched her, and then put another queen in a little queen cage with some candy. They took the candy out of the queen cage in 2 days and rolled her and killed her. So I ended up having to get another queen and put tape over it and to where they couldn't get to the candy so quick. And then after about 4 days, I went and take the tape off and then let them eat the candy out. So it took 7 days for them to get that queen out of there, and they finally accepted her. And then it took about another 2 months before the hive calmed down to where it was all her genetics back in that hive.
Oh yeah. And at the same time, you've got her damn drone out and, fertilizing who knows who. That's the other thing.
That's funny because that other colony, the first colony we went in, it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And we couldn't find the queen, first off. But in the brood box, it was all nectar and pollen. Mm-hmm. In the first super, there was 2 medium frames that had a little bit of milk brood in it. But for the size of that colony, the amount of brood was no capped. It was just a little bit of milk brood. But there was probably 50 old queen cells in there.
Oh yeah, they're bound.
And that's what I mean. I was telling him this thing probably swarmed bunches of times, and nobody was here to figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. So, how many drones were in the hot hive? How much drone comb?
I didn't see any.
Don't worry about it. Nobody would expect you to do that, Bob. But I just thought you might have glanced. Oh, one other thing about going in a hot hive like that, if you know.
Matter of fact, we never even ended up going through the brood chamber. Yeah. Because once we got down there and cleaned it all off, we were like, well, there's plenty of bees in here. There's got to be a queen. Yeah. They're doing something. But once we scraped all that extra burr comb and everything out of there, we just stacked another super on it and said, we'll come back and look at it, put it on a plan of some sort and see what we got.
Something I've never heard anybody talk about is the standard thing to, quick kill a hive like that is the hot soapy water.
I saw somebody do it on a video before on YouTube.
Oh yeah, I've had to do it. No, it's if the thing is just that extreme and they're not going to take queens, and Brad, God bless you, man, you got one to do that. That's fantastic. But I much prefer people to go in there and get rid of all the drone comb. Doesn't matter. Scrape it off. Don't look back, and then try and requeen it. And Brad, if you're lucky, you can do that. Otherwise, the hot soapy water. The problem is that you've crossed the line there from that hive being hot to dangerous. I know it's the second time I've said that. So at this point, I wouldn't even try and reintroduce a queen. Now, the question I have, and Charlie, you jump in here on this one. Instead of using the hot soapy water, I wonder if you would put some isopropyl alcohol in the hot water and pour it in there. And then you're not that'll evaporate. You're not destroying the stores and whatnot. If you want to reintroduce the split with the remaining resources and drawn comb, what do I know?
The Larry,
I've seen.
This is kind of what I've done in the past.
There's a video out by England. What's his up in New Jersey? David England, and he took my cousin. She took the frames out and dipped the bees in a bucket. And what he did was he taped all the entrances up, and he had a screen top for the inner cover.
Yeah.
He just poured the bucket full of soapy water right through the screen top and basically drowned the whole hive in one big clip, which was a whole lot simpler.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you've got the alternative where you take every single frame out and shake it down in there and say, yeah. Larry, you're missing the point, buddy. Take half and go back in a week and see if they killed it. It's not a matter of trying to do a split or whatever. You're trying to get rid of that genetics. You're trying to cull that whole damn thing from the queen to her drones. Now, the workers, they'll gradually get old and be replaced. But no, you don't want to do a split. Matt's messing around with something like that. He had a hive that was fairly hot, and he decided to do a split on it. Well, he pulled the eggs out and put them in there and let them raise their own queen and whatnot. He goes, oh, they're still gentle. And I'm like, well, yeah, they're all still nurse bees. They'll eventually grow up to be adult foragers, and God bless them. If they went out and they mated with a more gentle, drone from something else, yeah, that'll probably do it. But no, it wasn't. He took the hot queen out and put her in a nuke.
That's what I did.
And
demoralize the colony.
He still had yeah, he still had that same damn queen laying eggs. No, you get rid of that. Get rid of that. Beep, beep, beep. I don't know what in the world you're effing around with. Well, we're trying to save, the thing or whatever, and that queen is a good strong layer. Yeah, but she's also going to possibly swarm out and kill your chickens or whatever, or your dog, or in your case, Bob, crawl up your pant legs.
Try to kill me.
Yeah. Say before I forget, one last thing on that. I have a set of Carhartt bibs that I wear at the mill. And I'm thinking to myself, like that thicker, heavier fabric, if you know you're going to go into that one again.
Yeah, I'll stop by Tractor Supply and buy something.
Yeah, I just want you to be safe after seeing you so messed up.
Yeah, that was it was tough, but I took them like a champ. Took my lumps.
Yeah, you did. You did. That was impressive.
Now, next time I'll take the GoPro so you guys could actually see how crazy this is.
I wish you would, because that was just sounds badass. Nuts.
Well, I wasn't planning to. I was planning to go do a hive inspection, right? Just look through the colonies. Yeah, didn't know. But I mean, he said just make sure you bring your veil. So of course I brought the Guardian jacket, and I'm not. Be honest with you guys. Right now, I cannot give my seal of approval on the Guardian jacket
because
a couple of reasons.
Velcro,
number one. I've been harping on that. But this veil is a cheap veil on a cool breeze jacket, right? Same material as the Guardian, right? But the veil is very tough and durable, right? Very strong. The veil on my, you know what? Let me grab it. Hold on, I'll show you.
Yeah, take your time. I'd like to see this. Houston, I'm kind of worried about you. Every time I see you, you're in the dark.
Yeah.
Where you at, in the garage, Houston, or what?
I'm working on an addition, and I ain't got it all wired up yet, so it's just a couple of clamp lights in here.
I see.
Well, that's nice. It's just kind of a good thing. But you're, let's see, time-wise, you're what, 10:30 there?
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, Houston, you're at 10:30 there?
Yeah, 10:30.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just not used to it there. Brad, did somebody step on the dog? Maybe it was one of Bob's bees. For crying out loud. And Charlie, how's your rain going there?
Oh, it's misting this evening, and it's supposed to rain tomorrow. And then it's hopefully Saturday will be decent. I got queens ready to be put into mating boxes, and I was working on filling them boxes tonight. And it was
I thought it was in the kitchen. It was in my truck.
Getting dark, so I had to quit.
So where is it? This is the front, right? But on the side of my veil, it's already got right here. You probably won't be able to see it on the camera. It's already got.
Blow that up, Bob.
I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's already got like a hole in it.
No.
Yeah, I see it.
And you know what? I don't know how bees can find that one little hole.
Oh, they will.
But for $200 of a coat, $175 for a coat, I don't expect that in 2 months.
Did it just rip on its own, or is it weak?
I don't know. I mean, how else would it rip? Maybe if I'd have to hit myself in the head with a hive tool to rip a hole in it. This is usually in the kitchen on a box.
Yeah, the only thing I have with my Guardian, I just got one from Hive Life, is that my boxes have those steel lids on them, or coverings that are nailed, and where the corners are, there's a little sharp piece there, and I'm going around with my arm, and it'll catch on that fluffy jacket.
Oh yeah.
Those are vintage. Those vintage suits.
Yeah, it's a vintage suit. That's all I buy. I had a pro vent, which I guess it maybe fit a little nicer, but I don't know. The elastic kind of fizzles out on them things.
The only thing I don't like about this, the cheaper one, was the veil. There's no support. There's no support in the front, right here at the bottom. So it's like on your face. So if it's not keeping them away from my face, then what's the point of even wearing a veil? I mean, because they can sting you right through that.
Yeah, I got one of them cheap Manlake, just the pullover ones like that, and it's up against your nose the whole time.
That's always convenient.
It falls backwards. It's like it doesn't have any sturdiness to it the way it's made.
Otherwise, you got to wear it like a hoodie with your head all the way in the back, and then you can't see anything out of the sides hardly at all.
I gotta pull it all the way forward for it not to touch my nose, and then you can't see.
So this was on the Cool Breeze jacket that I had, which I liked it, but that's why I replaced it and went with that one when everybody was talking all good about Guardian. And to be honest with you, it's the same material as this one. I mean, it's the same. It might be a little bit more fluffy than this one, but I never got stung through this on the Cool Breeze either. I just replaced it.
Is that the vented?
Yeah, this is vented too.
Now, is it the 3-layer vented?
I don't know. This is probably like a double layer. It's probably not as thick.
I have a full suit. It's a Foxhound. I don't know if you ever heard of that company.
I haven't heard of Foxhound.
Foxhound B or something like that. I'd have to look at the name. But it's 2 layers of vented material, and then in between there's some beads between the 2 layers that keep the bees from being able to reach you and sting you. But I find it's a little too heavy.
Yeah, Guardian has that same.
You can wear a ball cap in it, but it's still bent. And when you look down, well, it is what it is. I mean,
yeah.
I just, it's the jacket.
Yeah.
It's $200 jacket, right? So it's like,
Bob, if you do this, let us know what they say. Get a hold of them. And
well, I was on, what was this, Stream Team? I was kind of going off about the Velcro on the pocket a little bit, and he was in the chat and he said to contact him, but I don't have his contact information, so I have to call him and see. I'm not trying to boo-boo their company because I think it is.
Who is the guy who makes Guardian that was in the chat?
I don't remember his name now. So actually, I didn't see it. Someone else told me about it.
Oh, okay.
And I love my Guardian suit. I'm nowhere near hot as you guys are, so that's the real caveat here. But I just couldn't keep going. I had the solid material, and I'm like, no, this isn't happening anymore. When I found out that Guardian was made in the United States, I said, screw it. I bought it.
But is it really made in the United States? I mean, yeah.
I don't know if they make the fabric, Charlie. That's actually a really good question. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't have an answer for you on that. And that's Bob, you can ask him when you contact him. What?
Yeah, where they're made at.
Well, yeah, not where they're assembled, but where's the fabric and whatnot come from too. But
the other jacket that I got 2 years ago is fine. I just didn't like the veil, right? So that's kind of that's why I guess I'm a little bit I won't say disgruntled. I expected more after hearing everybody say how great the jackets were and everything. I definitely wasn't expecting to have a hole in the veil, and you get it. If you got that hole in the veil and you got a hot hive, then you know something.
For folks that do, I forget who just put up something up about they melted part of the veil with a smoker. The best thing you can do to take care of that, if you just have a small hole or whatever, is take some shoe goo.
Shoe goo. Okay. Like the stuff you stick the sole back on?
Yeah, lick your fingers on both sides and put it in there. And I guarantee you that entire suit will fall apart before shoe goes. We actually have used shoe goo to repair a cast iron hand pump out here that are broken too. And that was what, 6 years ago?
I don't know if this veil will switch. I got an old brushy mountain jacket that's not vented. It's just that light cotton.
Yeah.
And that thing, I mean, to me, is as cool as this thing. By the time
What?
you put it on and it's 1,000 degrees outside, it doesn't matter. You're going to sweat both ways, right?
Yeah.
Terry Chapman is the Guardian guy. Okay, I'll try to get in touch with them.
Thanks,
and,
Hale.
You know, worst case scenario, maybe they make some adjustments and fix it for other people. You know, whatever.
You know, have you guys ever tried these neck fans? I think Cayman and his wife were using those last year.
I haven't.
Yeah.
Have you, Brad?
You talk about the little fans?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to say, it works good when it's really hot.
Does it?
Mm-hmm. At least it keeps you got to keep them charged. But,
yeah, but
at least while you're doing supers and stuff and you're out there a long time, at least it keeps a breeze going over your face.
Okay, that's got me happy.
Okay, so this hot hive.
Yes.
There were so many bees, it felt like there was a fan on my neck, coming through my belt. That's not a joke. That's not an exaggeration.
No, you're not joking.
It felt like a breeze. There were so many wings flapping around you.
But I just had kind of a fun thought. Get yourself a big box fan and put it on the top of the hive and let them fly through that thing at full speed.
And
chop them up.
Could you imagine how mad they'd be if you hit them with some oxalic acid?
Where does
yeah, or the other thing you could do is take a big bottle of hairspray out there and ignite that, and just whenever they're in the air, just cook them.
Just torch them.
I'm just thinking about killing mean bees, man. I'm sorry, life is too short.
Where does the banana smell pheromone come from? Is it from the sting or is it from something that they give off?
Oh, actually, I don't know that, but you brought up.
I smelled it for the first time today.
Did you?
Because I'm very hard at smelling. I have a very poor sense of smell. Yeah. But I had a bee that came. I don't know if he was coming at me at the veil, but I was wearing that cheap one that I'm talking about, where my nose is at against the veil, and he hit the veil, and I got a whiff of just sweet banana.
Interesting. Houston, what did you say?
Did
you say something about the banana? I'm sorry to interrupt, Brad.
No, I just I think it, that pheromone, like it's the scent they put off before.
Yeah, I just never smelt a banana before. It's you didn't have a pissed off monkey throwing shit at you, did you?
I've always heard it was banana like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hear it from a lot of people all the time that they talk about the banana smell whenever the bees are either attacking or some kind of pheromone they give off. And I've never smelt it. And for the first time today, I smelt it.
Oh man. No. And by the way, so if you are in a hive like that where you're getting stung all the shit, you got to remember that your jacket is actually being coated by that alarm pheromone.
Mm-hmm.
So something that I like to do is I hang mine outside, and
I put mine in the sun.
Yeah, thank you, Brad, and just let it burn off. So
Dry Cut said, had one sting me inside the nose, smells exactly like artificial banana.
Ah,
I've had that sting inside the nose before. It's not fun.
Yeah,
me neither. I've been stung on the inside the nose, on the tip of the nose, and you don't think about smell when you just got stung in the nose.
Right. You think about I can't see because my eyes are watering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder why there's such disparity on prices on stuff, even in the same area, like nukes. Some people are selling nukes so cheap, it's like, I understand they're just trying to sell them, but
it depends on your area too, because like in my area, people just don't want to pay $200 for a nuke. Like Lee was talking about, they were at $155 last year, and they just went up, all around to like $165. And so I listed mine on Facebook for $165, and people just like, nah, they would ask about them and stuff like that. Where are you located? Stuff. But the minute I dropped them to $150, I started having people wanting to buy them.
Well, how many how easy is it to catch swarms down there?
It's. I mean, I put out 4 traps and I caught 3, but I mean, it's work. I find it's much easier just to make a nuke now.
Okay. Okay. By the way, who the heck was it? Was it Tex or Dry Cut? I apologize because I don't remember, but I lost count after they said they lost 20. They caught 23 swarms, and at that point, I just stopped paying attention.
23 swarms. That's
Yeah,
a lot of work.
Yeah.
that's that was impressive though. Like, how the
I mean,
hell?
it was fun to actually go, like exciting to get some freebies and stuff. But where I hung them at in the trees and stuff, I mean, once they got in there, it's a little work getting them out and then transferring them to your boxes and stuff. And I don't like the idea of hanging them high, but getting on a ladder and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So, what do you mean it's a lot of work getting them out?
Well, I mean, getting them out of a tree and stuff.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I thought
because
you talked about pulling them out of the box.
where I had the one that I had on the side of a house, it was a house that some people rent, and they told me that bees would come every year and stick on the side of the house and stay there for a couple of days, and then they would move off. So I hung one there and got a swarm in it. Then when that swarm moved in, I said, well, I'm gonna let them make sure that the queen is mated. So I left her there for a week.
You did?
So I hung another box on the side of that one on the side of the house, and a swarm moved into that one.
No way.
Yeah. And so I went and so I left them there for 2 weeks, and I went and get both of them down, and I put another box up there. And while I was fooling with the bees and stuff, I already had some scouts going by the other box that I hung there, the third box. So I'm going to go back probably in about a week and see if they moved
That's
in.
just amazing. Yeah,
So, I mean, they just keep coming.
Well, the reason I said that about like nukes, we've got people that sell them anywhere from $150. Most people are selling them if you buy them at the bee store, they're $200. If you buy them anywhere, like $200. 180. That's what my mentor was selling them last year, but he went up to 200 this year as well. And that's what I've been selling them for, 200. But then you see people post them. I got 5-frame nukes for 160, and it's like, why are you selling them for 160 if everybody else is selling them for 200? You're losing $40 every time, even if you sold them for 180.
And there could be something wrong with those bees. Sometimes that price is for a reason.
Yeah. On the other hand, they just might be think that's all they want to do. Hale just put something up here. He said, I've been better at sending them rather than catching them.
Sending swarms.
The easiest swarm to catch was the one that I caught like it was myself. One that came out of my bees.
I've not caught a swarm yet this year.
Yeah.
I got one gave to me, but I've not caught him. And Johnny Walker sent me a bottle of Swarm Commander today.
I saw that video today. That was cool.
Yeah, I saw that.
And so I'm hoping to get to try that stuff out. Maybe I'll have a little better luck now.
I haven't seen Johnny on here in a minute.
I used the Swarm Commander on that swarm that was coming out, and I don't know if it was the Swarm Commander or I did what Mr. Ed did. I was on my tractor and I looked over this nuke that had a bunch of bees coming out of it. I thought they were oriented to the box, but when I seen them all going up into the sky, I said, "Oh my God!" I said, "They're swarming." I had never seen one in my yard before. Jumped off the tractor. I went to the barn, got another box, set it on the ground because they were all in the air around a tree, but they hadn't landed on the branches yet. They were just all swarming up in the area by the tree. So I set the box on the ground, sprayed some Swarm Commander in it, and I had 2 metal rods, and I started beating those rods together. They dropped down out the sky on that box, went in that box, and they're still there today.
That is wonderful.
It's a 5-frame like deep nuke. And they got two little mini nukes. I mean nukes, two little mini supers on top of them right now.
Yeah, Houston, I've heard other people, old timers, talking about that, and it's just
Tangin, ain't that what they call that?
Tangin, yeah.
okay.
Now I've used the Swarm Commander, like when they get in the air and they're flying around. I've sprayed it on a branch and they've landed on the branch that I sprayed the Swarm Commander on, and I've sprayed it on the side of a 5-gallon bucket that I sat on those.
I believe it. I saw the video.
And hey, landed right on it, and I just shook them into the nuke.
Yeah,
found the queen. I've seen it happen several times, so I know it works, but it's crazy. I've never tried tanging though.
Yeah,
so Charlie, we've been talking about swarms here, and you've just been sitting there like a wise man. What's your experience with this whole thing?
I didn't have any swarms this year so far. I sell the nukes and when it comes to, if you want to not have any swarms, it's back to managing the population in the hive and pulling that brood out of there. It's the single brood chamber management. It works for if it's a 2-box system or whatever, where if you got, I don't know, let's say 6 frames of cat brood. Well, it's just like tonight. I went into one hive and it had 4 frames of brood. Some of it was wall to wall, corner to corner, carpet brood. And I'm like, okay, it's 5 over 5 nuke. Well, you know what that's going to do? It's going to swarm me as soon as all that brood hatches. Right. So I pulled out, I think 3 frames and left I think 2 frames of cat brood, and for to repopulate what dies, and then gave her some other frames that were still empty, and that hive won't swarm because I've managed the population, and I'm using that in my 2-frame nukes, for mating. But I found out in the last 2 years that really works, and as far as management goes, especially in the early spring.
I've never run the single box management.
Well, it's not just single box. It's that concept or that technique is that it, if you got 2 deep boxes and you go in there in the springtime, whatever springtime is for you, and you see 8 frames of brood wall to wall. I'm talking cat brood, not to larvae. Within 2 or 3 weeks, all that stuff's going to hatch, and then you're going to start seeing, queen cells and stuff like that. Right. And it's pull half of that out, put it in a weak hive, or make a split with it, or something of that nature. Then you'll alleviate that. As long as she's able to constantly lay and have room. And that's what I've found in the last couple of years.
No, I've been doing the same thing, Charlie, but I was just wondering if you, do you ever, hey, buddy, do you ever capture swarms?
Oh, yeah. I had actually captured one here about a month ago, and it was a small little thing. I actually walked up to it. It was, chest high. Walked up and held a little nuke box, and they walked on in. I shook them all down, and I put the nuke up on the wall. It was at an old barn foundation. And I took them down to the house there and put them in a regular box, a little 5 medium, and transferred them, put some sugar water on them, and then they left. I don't know what, But I've had, last year I had 2 swarms. I induced them myself. I overfed them in the dearth. Yeah. Both of them were on the ground almost. And one of them was on a log, and I put a medium nuke box and slid it underneath this log that was sticking up in the air, and they were underneath of it, hanging down. And I just kind of pushed some of the bees off into the frames and whatever, and they liked it, and they just started marching right in.
Wonderful.
And they marched right in. I ran them through the winter time. I don't think they really made it through the winter. I'm not sure right now. But then the other one, I tried to do the same thing to it. The first swarm that swarmed, and they wouldn't go in the box. They wouldn't do anything. They just flew away. That was just the way it went.
I had 2 swarm calls this year, and one of them ended up being just a force abscond, which they had sprayed the house, so those bees ended up dying. And I had another swarm call, but by the time I got there, the bees had already taken off. So
that one. Yeah. How long did you drive?
30 minutes each way.
Yeah, I'm sorry you went through that.
Well, I mean, so that leads me to this. I understand a lot of people go and catch swarms and everything, and it's a good way to get started. But then it gets to the point where it's more of a time burn than it is, for me at least. I've been able to multiply my colonies because I have bees. If you're catching swarms and getting started, that's awesome. I mean, and if someone calls me, I'm not going to not go try to get the swarm. But at the same time, it's like it's not high on my priority list, unless it's one of my own swarms. But I've been lucky. Oh, God, why do people do this?
I like swarms now. I'm getting the different genetics and stuff. I enjoy swarms.
Yeah, I enjoy doing it, but I mean, I haven't been called that much for them to begin with. Yeah. And I just haven't allocated that much time with it. I mean, my mentor wouldn't even sell me another, oh my God.
Yeah, I'm just banning him.
Normally I catch 2 or 3 by now, but I ain't even got the first one this week.
I was going through my emails, and I don't know, some days I just don't get into emails that much. But anyway, there was a swarm actually on the road that I live off of, and I'm like, that was like 3 or 4 days before, so like.
How come I report them on my own channel and I block it and remove it and it still stays there? There we go.
Yeah. Then once you report them, then you have to remove them. I'm on top of it there.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
No place for that.
Nope.
And sorry you guys even had to see that. But with the God, that makes me so mad. So with the swarms, I mean, I like catching them. It's fun, but my mentor won't even sell me nukes anymore. He's like, you got bees, make your own nukes, and he's, to a point he's right, but at the same time, I like to spread the genetics out a little bit, right? So I might add a couple nukes here and there just to add some diversity in the yard and go that way.
This season with those queens.
Yeah, Larry says he don't chase swarms. He don't have any time.
I had a guy that he was supposed to be helping me, and I don't know what his, family, I guess, got in the way or whatever. But anyway, he called me up and said, hey, I got a swarm and all that stuff. I said, okay, that's great. And it was on the ground, actually, on the grass. I don't know whether he got a queen or not, but I haven't heard back from him. But he had lost his business through COVID and all, and he just didn't really have the money to buy bees and stuff. The plan was he was supposed to.
Here's another one. Same guy.
Was supposed to come and help me, and I would give him a box of bees for helping. But I don't know. It's like the last, the several weekends was bad, and I'd call him up. I said, well, I'm in the bees, and well, I got this to do and that to do. And, I'm thinking to myself, well, if you might as well not even get into bees because they're not on your schedule. You're on their schedule.
You're right there, George.
And you better get out there when you need to be out there.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, I've been pretty fortunate to have you guys to be able to call and lean on and, ask different questions and whatnot. I think that's one of the main things with this channel and this network we're trying to build up is that you can call people and be like, hey, I got this going on. What would you do? And if anything, it validates what you were thinking or gives you a new perspective.
Oh, it helps. Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
and I just got to the point, like Charlie said, hey, just make sure their population is strong, but not too strong. Pull a frame of brood out, drop another frame in there, let them work it back up, and
I mean that. It's just I've been at it for almost 12 years, and I'm just starting to, I'll say, understand that part of it,
Me
and
too.
the concept, and stuff and things
hey,
like that.
Sarwood. Yeah, it's definitely one of those things that every day I go out there, I learn something new or see something different. Yesterday with that hot hive, when I was scraping all that honeycomb off of the frames and putting it on the inner cover because we were going to replace the inner cover, and then we took the honey that we scraped off. We were going to take that away from the colonies so they could clean it up. But a hummingbird moth made a mistake of landing there to try to get some honey. They
Didn't
killed
go
it.
over too well.
No, they killed it like on the spot.
Oh,
I mean, they
man.
just went on it. Yeah,
So-
it was weird.
Somebody by the Eugene posted something about being with his dad in the 50s, and they were banging pots and pans together in the 50s.
My mentor said the same thing. They used to do that when they saw a swarm in the tree. They would start banging pots and pans together to try to get them to come down out of the tree.
Yeah,
Huh.
horseshoes. I've heard horseshoes, everything.
Wow.
I don't know if it's just the vibration that gets them or what.
I think it is. Yeah. There's a guy up here in Pennsylvania. He had they were talking about what we were just talking about, his tanging and everything. He said, he had I think it was a push mower or something like that. Or he ran over there with a push mower and let it sit there and run.
Really?
And that vibration from that motor in the air, it brought that hive swarm down to where he could get it,
Wow.
Nice.
It must have landed on her either there was a hive sitting there or something of that nature.
Well, that's before the newfangled ones that you got to hold the thing to keep them running.
That's where you put a string around that.
Tape it, duct tape it.
And all that. But then I've heard some people like Brad was on his lawnmower or tractor or whatever it was. I've had them where they had let's say a gas tractor or something, and that vibration, they actually landed on the hood of the tractor,
Something that breaks their vibration up, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
I've heard some people say it to the bees, it sounds like thunder or something, but I don't think it's quite that
The
obvious.
tell you what, we've been going for 3 hours. Imagine that.
Yeah, I need to drop off. It's 11 o'clock here on the East Coast, so
I thought today was Friday. I kept saying, well, tomorrow Ricky Rourke's coming down. They're like, I thought he was coming Saturday. Wait, it's not Friday? Nope, he's coming down Saturday. So
how did you guys get on this stream team thing that night? The way I read the email is if you were already on there at one time, you were invited to get on there or something like that.
I was on there before.
All right.
Yeah, but Brian just messaged me, hey, if you want to swing by, and then we got asked to come on. So
Well, that's nice.
Got to be a big shot.
yeah, you know me, I'm such a big shot.
Brad, we're gonna have to buy him a suit and tie here. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah, no, you could buy me a T-shirt that has like the tuxedo on it. You remember those? The T-shirts that look like
No, because
tuxedo
you'd forget to iron it.
Other lovely beekeepers come on Bob's show.
Hey,
Oh man,
we're open for everyone. Everyone is
Thank
welcome
you, sir.
here.
Thank you.
Sarwood is in Virginia and Florida. Okay, I just checked your channel out there. That's kind of neat, there, guy.
It simulates thunder. Okay. Sarah said she used her hive tool and smoker, and it works. Just ding, ding, ding. Hey, that would probably be a better use for what I use my smoker for. My smoker's just a lawn ornament most of the time. just sitting out there.
smoker.
We didn't use my smoker. We used his smoker yesterday. I wish I would have had mine because mine was I got the tall one and he had the smaller one. But I mean, it put out smoke, but it just burned out quicker.
Yeah, that's one of those things that I really took to heart when my mentor came over and he came out with this Dayton smoker that was about 8 feet tall, and he goes, "Watch this," and I did.
Right.
Did you watch last night's thing with Brian and all them guys?
Yeah, I was on.
That
I watched
video thing.
The video chat.
Yeah, whatever it was. And I asked some questions. I'm like, well, what questions you want? I don't have any questions.
Love it.
I mean, I do like that. It's entertaining when people send them in. I like it, but
I like it too. It's a different format.
Charlie said he got the answers, not the questions.
but then, and half, I mean, I liked it, but I did have a question about it. I like that format. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not talking bad about the stream team. I love all those guys, but my thing is, if you're a beekeeping channel and people are coming to your channel for information and answers, and you're sending in video questions to another beekeeping channel, does it somehow make it look like you may not know what you're doing?
Hey, Bob, honestly, yes, it does. But think about this.
I wouldn't think.
I mean, obviously, Jose asked a question about queens. He knows those answers, you know. So that I mean, obviously, that to me.
No,
makes
I
sense.
can't tell you how many times I've been sitting on a chat with Ian Stepler, Bob Binney, and Cayman too, and they're asking questions.
Right, we all have questions. So
Right.
Yeah, it's the good mark. I mean, if you don't have questions, you've stopped learning, right?
Well, I probably would have sent a question in, but I was recovering from my thing. To go in there,
How were they sending the questions in?
Video. Yeah, they record a video and then give them the link to it.
Yeah, you would upload it to YouTube, but you had to put it as private, I think, or something like that, and then you'd have to share them the link so they can pull it up.
You're okay.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, I like it.
I mean, I like all the guys on there too, but it's like I don't know. It's I still like this format here where anybody can get on, as far as I know. I mean, I can just click on the link. Any of us, you know, I'm not trying. You know, I know some nights that I'm back here watching.
As far as I know, there's only one person that can't. Well, they can click the link. They'll just never make it in the stream. That's all I'm saying.
Wait.
No names to be smoked.
No names. But if you ever do that, I gotta fire the popcorn machine up.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Hey,
But
guys,
I mean,
don't let him. I lost 5 viewers that night. I mean, 5 subscribers.
You lost subscribers?
Yeah, because I went on his channel and I asked what the hell he was so mad about. And boom, I lost 5 subscribers.
Hey, and there's nobody that you wanted to anyway. So, by the way, Sarah Wood just said something about posting a bunch of videos up there. And Eugene, you live in La Crosse. That's great. My family's from Milk Mountain. And Sarah had mentioned earlier about she puts her hive traps up on her husband's deer stand or hunting stand. So I just wanted to touch on that because I'm out of here. You guys all have a great and blessed night. And Bob, I'm sure glad you look better because
I feel better.
I almost started like throwing, like EpiPens at the screen last night.
Hey, do you remember those? You probably remember this. Back in the 70s, they had TV bricks. Do you remember those? They were advertising like foam bricks you could throw at the TV.
No.
If something made you mad, you'd throw. Anyway, that's a long time ago. But anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you guys, God bless, and talk to you later.
So what I've got, if you haven't subscribed to the channel and you're just stopping by, please subscribe because when I get another 150 subs, we're doing the Lyson solar wax melter giveaway for 2,000 subs.
wax
Yeah, and if you
melter.
guys,
Yeah,
if
that's
you
it.
guys haven't seen his
License
video on
holder.
that, check it out. So
It's pretty cool. And
Okay.
yeah, that's 150, and he's gone just like that. Bam. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing at 2,000. Obviously, if you haven't commented on both Lee's and my Tuesday night streams and given a thumbs up to enter the big giveaway we do we got 2 more, right? 2 more to give away. 2 more prize packs with the wood pulp swarm trap and Swarm Commander and Honeybee Gone and Beekeeper's Choice feeding supplement. Do that so you can get entered to win.
So when you gonna give a queen away?
Saturday when when Ricky comes down. He's driving probably 2.5 hours each way to come down here.
He's coming for 1 queen?
2 queens.
Oh, 2.
But I'm not charging him. I'm not going to charge him for the queens. I'm just going to give it to him, obviously there's probably 50 people between him and me that has queens, So the fact that he's coming down, I'm just going to give him the queens for coming. We'll probably try to do a little video with him here or something.
Who's this?
Ricky Rourke from Horizontal Hives.
Oh, okay.
Horizontalbees.com, right?
Yeah.
So, and get to meet him and have.
There's another guy that has a site similar to his.
Yeah, Dr. Leo is horizontalhives.com.
Yo, Jurassic.
Yeah, and Ricky's horizontal bees, I think, .com.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm not gonna. I've got queens. If you're gonna,
queens galore.
If you're gonna spend the money and gas to come down here and see me, the least I can do is hook you up with a couple queens to carry home with you. If I got them.
And where you at again? South Carolina?
Yeah, you'd have to drive probably 12 hours to get here. He'd be saying, "Well, I drove 12 hours. That's 25 queens, sir." So
we drove there one time. It was when I was a kid.
Myrtle Beach or somewhere?
No, I can't exactly remember where it was. It was on the coast, but my aunt, her husband was in the military. My mom wanted to see her sister, so we drove down to.
What branch was it? Was it Navy?
Yeah, I think it was the Navy.
He was in Charleston then. So that's about an hour and a half east of me. So you would have passed by me.
Columbia, right?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever heard it on my videos, but sometimes I can hear them firing guns at the range from my house. So I always hear M16s going off all the time.
A lot of woods out there.
Lots of it. That's why I was like, well, this is a good spot for bees because they can get to Fort Jackson, all these woods around here. So
Right.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Well, I play every day like it's a new day, You never know what you're going to run into and do.
Yeah, but I don't know. It seemed like Brian and them guys were kind of running out of things to talk about or talk with or who.
Well,
I like to see them open it up like your channel is here, where you just open up everybody.
Well, the difference is on our best night, we have 54 people, 55 people watching, right? And they have 108. And what'll happen is, without fail, there'll be 50 people waiting to get in there. And then it ends up ticking them off when they can't get in. And then they get mad. And it's like, oh, they didn't let me in. Well, it's not that. It's just that the show would have been 6 hours long, And me, I look at this more as just hanging out, talking about bees and talking about stuff, Yeah,
but I think we get. I think there's a lot of good information being passed and a lot of different thoughts about how to do a certain project. It's just like you with your queens tonight. You're banking them. No, everybody say, hey, put them in your 2-framers and stuff like that. And that'll give me 14 of them out there laying up. But then those
those hives will not. Then they're just basically 2-frame colonies. They're not like generating queens.
Yeah,
right?
but you got to remember that you're letting that queen lay, and that's important.
Well, and I guess if somebody comes and buys a queen, and I need a queen, and I take a queen out of there, then they will generate a queen as soon as I remove her, right?
They're always swelled up, and
But then I'm going to be looking for, well, this one's packed out. Now I got to put it somewhere.
You got to pull out more brood.
But I can always keep taking those cat brood and moving them over to my 10 framers and just keep making them more
And
powerful.
you're telling me that you have other hives that are on the weaker side. You can boost them. Put a drop of a couple frames of capped, and that'll boost that hive and get it farther along quicker.
Right.
You know.
Then I'll be calling y'all to come get the swarms out my trees. So, but you know, it's fun. It's like if you've ever played like The Sims or a real-time strategy game or something, you're always, or chess even, right? Trying to think ahead, your next move, what you're going to do, and how you're going to move it around. That's the fun part for me.
Would it be in order? I'm wondering. I see a lot of like all these folks on the right hand side here. Would they want to come on? Or, what I'm thinking is, how about we have a Zoom chat where we have up to 30 or 40 some people?
We can have up to 10 people in here now.
Oh yeah. I thought
the problem is a lot of people don't join. They could join. Anybody could join except for one person, but anybody else could join. And
Who are we talking about? Houston's friend?
Yeah.
Bob's friend.
The name we shall not speak. You know what? Because
I don't even forgotten his name.
that's what that person thrives on. That's why I've seen him show up in our chats saying, "Hey, everyone," and nobody responds to him because he's waiting on us to say something so he can make another video talking junk, right? So
I've unsubscribed from him, so I don't know if he's even, does he still make videos? Are you checking him out on the Sly side?
No, I don't.
Couldn't tell you.
For me, if you're doing that, if you're actually watching those videos, then you're actually feeding the beast, right?
Yeah.
That matter of fact, his highest video was that video because everybody went and checked it out after I blew up at him on the stream.
Lee can't join, or what's the deal here?
No, you can't join, Lee. He's just talking about he's the one. He's the one. No, you can join. You're moving. You told me you didn't want to go live tonight. Screw you, Bob. That's what you said.
Well, I gotta go, fellas.
Yeah, we're getting ready to hop off here too. Yeah, if you catch my swarms,
see you.
See you, man.
See you later. If you catch my swarms, you'll probably catch a cutie queen at this point. Although, to be honest with you, some of those cutie queens that I've got have not been very prolific at this point.
I didn't say nothing, but I've had quite a few this year. There's not all that great. And I got them early on, probably earlier than what you did. And I was wondering whether they were poorly mated and all that. But yeah, you're right. I have to agree with you there.
Some of them have not been that prolific, that's for sure.
No, I've gotten a lot of my ones that I bought early on over a month ago have not been performers this year at all. And
which is why some of those colonies that have been nukes that have moved to 10 frames that I had to move back to nukes because they just weren't packing it out. Like, when I can put a brand new nuke and put it out there, and a month and a half later, I've got 4 or 5 supers on it where they're building everything out and getting honey. And then I have an overwintered colony that the only thing I did was add a new queen to it. And it's just struggling. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree with you. I've noticed that. I didn't say much to anybody, but I thought maybe it was me, because I marked them or what.
I don't mark my queens, so it's not a marking issue if that's it. other people, I mean, I don't know that they're having bad luck. I mean, I have had some that were good. I'm not going to say that. I mean, you're always going to get good and bad.
I had the one I grafted off, I believe is one of his. I definitely, from the colors, I'm sure it's one of his. And I sold her here this past week.
Now, the two nukes or the two queens I sold this past weekend, they were in the colony laying, and I went and caught them and then put them out there, and they had a nice pattern and everything. So I'm not selling people crap queens. I mean,
well, this one here I grafted off of her, and that's what these batches here. I really didn't want to sell her, but this guy, hey, I need a nuke. I says, well, all right. I had another queen there that's a good layer, and another one of his has got that kind of a brown tiger stripe look.
Right. And
I said, okay, I got that one right there. And like I was telling you about this one other hive, it was a new queen. I think it was Italian. And, you know, I gave her time. She's doing good. And so I don't know. I'm going to try to, you know, raise these 20, 25, or let's sell five cells and raise the 20 of them and repopulate these hives that were going down on me. And
yeah. Larry said, that sounds terrible. I mark all my queens. Well, when I first started, I made the decision to mark queens, and then I ended up killing. Well, I had one fly off and one I decapitated in the one-handed queen catcher, and it was like, why am I even doing this? I'm doing it so I can find her quick. It don't help the bees out. So for me at that time, it just wasn't worth the risk.
Yeah, it depends on whether you're selling them and stuff like that. And one thing I went up to a guy's place this spring. He was downsizing, I'll say, and he had a queen muff, and I got it for $5, you know, and it was like brand new.
Right. And
that have saved me about 4 times when I was marking queens.
Where they took off or hopped off?
Yeah, you know, I'm trying to transfer them out of a clip, you know, let's say into a marking cage, and the guillotine cage. That's what I use. And as she flew out and she's laying it on the screen, I said, well, there you are. And I just kind of scooted her into the cage and went ahead and marked her and all that stuff. So,
right.
But anyway, well, I'm going to get out too. It's late. I got stuff to do, and it's for me. And so good to hear from y'all. I guess we'll talk Sunday night or something, maybe.
Whenever Lee decides he can go live again.
All right. That's cool. No, but I've been hanging back a little bit. And I mean, well, actually, I was.
And it's a holiday weekend, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Memorial Day.
No big deal for me. But I had bought 20 supers. I was running out of honey supers. I've been painting them. I was listening to you guys talk while I was doing that. And
oh, he's saying tomorrow. So I guess we're going live again tomorrow, guys.
Oh, okay. What's tomorrow? Friday?
Friday night.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I got this other thing I go on beach at, but it's mostly beginners, and
you should invite them over.
Yeah,
we can be one big happy family.
And I don't know. After a while, you know, I mean, I don't mind helping people out, but I don't know. Sometimes the conversation gets pretty stale and dull. And,
yeah.
I like I say, I enjoy everybody, Houston and Bob and Lee and everybody that comes on here, and they all have good.
Well, we also try to joke and cut up a little bit. It's not always all business, you know what I mean?
You know, we're talking about like YouTube, about, you know, doing our better channel on our own channels. You know, you've been helping me out, you know, Bob, and then I've been helping you guys out, like, you know, like about where do you find, you know, gross, you know, volume discounts on bottles and or whatever, or queens, you know, you found out about.
I'm wondering about Acorn, ordering Acorn directly from Acorn, because
That's what I do. Now, what I did was this.
Well, Blythewood Bee Company just went up on their price. Oh, look who it is. Look who the cat drug in. Oh.
There he is.
I know it's last minute. I'm just going to come in and say hey to everybody real quick.
But I ordered like 3 cases of mediums and 3 cases of deeps, and I did it because I wanted a better discount on shipping and stuff.
Well, how much was the shipping to you? Because they're in California, right? So we're both on the East Coast.
I think it was a couple $100 on six cases.
It's Blythewood has gone up to like $3 on those frames, which is 75 cents more than I paid for them the last time I bought them. So I don't know, depending on how many you buy, I guess the shipping offset may not be worth it. But I still have 2 cases left.
You have the website,
Do what?
Just go to acorn.com or whatever it is.
I got them pulled up right over here. Oh, wait.
And then you select what you want. Let's say triple wax or heavy wax, whatever they call it. And it'll tell you the different breakdown as far as the amount of cases you buy versus how much is, costing and stuff.
Okay, so it's $109 a case. That's not bad. That's $2. That's like $2 a frame.
That's for what? Deeps?
Deep, extra heavy wax.
All right, because you got 52 frames in a case.
Yep. So 52 frames for $109.
And what's shipping?
It don't tell you what the shipping is, but if you order 4 or 5 boxes, you get 20% off of shipping, but you don't know what shipping is.
You said it's 52 for 109?
Yeah.
That's $209 a piece.
So everybody, let's pool our money and order like a damn pallet of them things, and y'all can pick them up at my house.
Does that include gas money?
Your gas money.
Well, we got to drive to your house, pick them up. We need a little gas help.
Man, I wonder, to purchase 15 or more boxes, please call or email for volume pricing.
Yeah, talk to.
Did it take 1 to 2 weeks for you to get them? That's what it's saying on here. 1 to 2 weeks.
That's about right. Yeah, a couple weeks.
I mean, I've got 2 cases out there now of the deeps, and 2 cases of the mediums, and they're 72 to a case in the mediums.
Yeah, 72.
So
I don't know. I mean, I bought them, and
if I'm starting to order by a pallet, I'm going to open up
it's
online.
not so much
store.
a pallet, it's just by cases.
Well, them cases are pretty big, though.
Yeah, but I talked to I can't think of this guy's name now. The owner of it, but
Nick.
Yeah, Nick.
It may just do you an online store, Bob.
Do what?
It may pay you just to do an online store.
Yeah.
Order bulk, and then just find out how many people wants to go in on it, and just order them, and then distribute them out online.
Then everybody pays for their own shipping to their place.
Right.
Y'all are going to have me spending all the money. Oh.
Yeah, but now the thing of it is, do you need them right now? Are you running out?
Well, all right. So I got 32 frame nukes. That's 30 frames. That's half a case. But then I got to replace the frame that's coming out that I'm taking out of the other colony.
Oh yeah, you'll run through a case like no problem at all.
So that's I'll
have
less than a case.
I went out and put out so many new more foundations and put them in the bees so they'll draw them out and all like that. And I won't say it was a totally full case, but the case is gone. It's empty. And I got like you say, if you're like mediums, 72 of them. Well, shoot, that's only 7 boxes if you're putting all brand new honey supers on.
Let me. I'm gonna calculate
I need
shipping.
10 boxes right off the bat, and
Don't take
and
long.
I've got some drawn wax left, and then the rest of it is just going to have to be foundation. They'll have to draw it out.
I'm
which
calculating shipping. Oh wow!
that stuff fluctuates like crazy.
That didn't sound good.
How much is $300?
$275
Wow.
for that don't even make sense because it says if you get 4 to 5 boxes, and it says 5 boxes up there, that saves you $50, so it's $220. So let me see. If I choose that, that leaves 5 cases are $766. So let me see, 766 divided by $3. I could buy 255 from Blythewood Bee Company, 255 frames, which is roughly 5 cases, right? A little bit less than 5 cases for the same amount.
And then you don't have shipping. You can go pick them up at Blythewood.
But it's the same deal. It's the same amount of money.
Yeah.
The only thing is they're probably buying 10 cases or 20 cases or however many cases they buy at a time, right?
Just supporting your local.
Yeah, and it also because it's a commercial location. For some reason, there is a difference in pricing when it goes to commercial versus a residential.
Right.
See, but why are all those companies in California? Why can't they have any on the East Coast where we can make, where we can get cheaper shipping? Don't make any damn sense.
Central, that way they can go both directions.
Makes no sense.
Keep them out.
I don't know. That's crazy.
That's why I bought what I bought. I bought 6 cases, 3 of each, and it was a little bit cheaper.
Well, when they had them on sale over there, I bought up as many as I could afford at the time. Well, we'll see. We'll see, but I doubt I'm going to order them right at the moment. Mm-hmm. Let's y'all come and buy some nukes and queens, then we can make things happen.
Buying some of the stuff in the off season, you usually get a little bit better price too.
Yeah, when they start clearing them out.
Yep.
Except for Man Lake, don't clear them out; they'll sell them to you at the same price next year.
Yeah. Put them in a warehouse somewhere.
So that's what I'll be doing, like September, October, maybe November area. It's when I'm going to start buying some more of my equipment.
Let me see what
I get it in, and then over the wintertime, I can do any painting or dipping, treating, whatever I need to do while it's cooler weather.
They may have them at the Hive Life too. You guys might, the ones that's going, get a deal there.
So they got the mediums over there for $275, and they got the deeps for $3. But they don't even have, by their inventory, it's showing they don't even have a full case of the deep 1-piece acorns. And the mediums, they've got, looks like about 4 or 5 cases in stock. So, don't know. Let me see how much their wooden with the foundation is now. But everything's gone up. Assembled frames with plastic foundation, $4.50.
What's
wood with the?
What are they selling the medium supers for at Blythewood or whatever it's called?
Blythewood, medium supers. Let's see, Hive components, woodenware, medium assembled. 10 frame.
Yeah.
$19.50. Oh, wait, that's deep, I think.
Is that commercial grade or what is that?
Select grade.
Really?
Like on Acorn's website for a box of 30 of the deep black heavy wax, $108.
For what?
On Acorn's website, a box of 30 deeps black foundation with heavy wax.
30 or 52?
It says 30. Box of 30 wooden frames with extra
wooden
heavy wax.
frames. Okay.
Is how much?
108.
That's
it comes out about $360 a piece.
All right, so here's the thing. This is exactly my point with why I went to the plastic frames. So 30 wooden frames with the acorn foundation is 108. 52 plastic frames that are the same acorn foundation in it for 52 of them is 109. So you get $1 more for 22 more frames.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Because you had to pay for somebody to put them wooden frames together. I like the plastic because it scrapes off easier. It worked to me. You don't. Biggest thing on a wooden frame is you go in there and there's a 1/4 inch worth of propus on those shoulders, and you got to sit there and scrape all that stuff all the time to maintenance it to get all them frames in the box. I don't have that much problem. Problem does the plastic warp if you keep it in the sunlight. You got to keep it out of the sunlight. And I'm talking just in,
the foundation in the wood, right? I haven't seen the actual
plastic frames.
I've had the plastic frames, will twist or warp. If you leave it out in direct sunlight within, 10 minutes, look out.
Peerco is very proud of theirs. Very
Charlie,
proud.
is that with it in the box, or are you talking about it just sitting out in the sun?
Sitting out there in the direct sunlight.
Okay.
Yeah, like you see mine laying on top of a damn colony for 3 weeks.
Yeah, you like if you put a brand new frame out there with that wax, you can see. I was out there where one was laying on top of the other, where the one shaded the other one. That part that was exposed, that wax was wet.
Right. And I started using that trick to my advantage too. If I go in a colony and they're not drawing that plastic frame out, I'll take it out and set it on top of a hive for 5 minutes while I'm inspecting it, flip it over, let it freshen it up, pop it right back in there. Yeah, Peerco, man, what the hell?
They usually have free shipping, but if you sit there and look at the numbers, is it really free shipping?
No, I mean, okay, so Acorn Deep Triple Wax Foundation was 109. Peerco's 52 to a case, right? It's probably the same damn frame, just with a different stamp on it. It's $215.
Wow.
Free shipping on over.
Free shipping. You got the shipping in the damn price of the product.
Pay for your own shipping, but it's free.
Yeah, if you order over $125, you get a free shipping. That's what it says, within 24 to 48 hours.
Where are they located? They're probably in California too, right? And then what's the new one that everybody's using? That everybody likes? Premier.
Yeah, it's only yellow. There's no black, and you can't get any full plastic frames. It's got to be wooden.
Yep, Peerco's Riverside, California, as far as their contact information.
Premier Bee Products. How much is there in? Do they sell a wooden frame too with it?
Yeah, I believe they do because that was at Hive Life. I think Greg from Nature Image, I think he bought half a trailer load. I seen 2 major stacks there. I'm talking at least 10 foot tall of pre-made frames.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I'm never going to buy that product. No, hell no. Just, they do have a black foundation, extra heavy wax. It's $2.09. So by the time you add a wooden frame to it,
You're back up $4 or something.
and you got to put all the frames together.
Right.
So I don't know. I won't say never, because you never know what's going to happen in the future, but that doesn't seem like much of a. They got free shipping over $150 too. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. If I'm going to do that, I'll go back to stringing them up.
Right.
Oh, hey, Jose. Damn.
But like Better Beads went up too for a deep wooden frame. They want $470.
Yeah, I mean that's $50 in frames. Plus, that's now it's gone from $50 a box to $75 a box before you have any bees involved. Why is honey so high? I don't know. You tell me.
Right.
It's not bad if you buy in bulk. Both products much cheaper in bulk. I mean, we were just talking about how acorn frames, like when I bought all those frames back a few months ago, they were $2.25 a piece, and now they're at $3. And if you order directly from Acorn, the shipping on it takes them up to about the same. Oh, as in by the pallet. Yeah, I don't know. That's a little bit above my pay grade at this moment.
I was about to say, I mean, it would depend on how many hives and all you got too, if you're ordering by the pallet or just a couple
It don't
boxes.
take long to run through a couple cases of it either.
No, if I could get I don't know, maybe we'll figure something out, guys. If anybody needs cases, maybe we could somehow pull together and buy a pallet. I don't know, but it's kind of, yeah. And Premier, man, I'm looking at Premier. I mean, their foundation, they're showing 209 on here, and I don't see. Maybe you have to call to get a bulk discount or something. I don't know.
I'm gonna have to check with that local apiary right up the road from me, because last time I went in their shop, just bullshitting with them, they had 3 pallets of foundation and frames and all there. So I'm gonna find out who they order theirs from, and heck, I might be able to get in on a deal with them and put in a
Right.
little bit bigger order.
Piggyback
just
on the
split
load.
some.
But Peerco, man, Peerco is like $4 a frame. Isn't that what I said a minute ago?
Yeah, four.
They were like, even had to call and talk to them, because I've been using Acorn, and I mean Acorn's been good. I mean, I haven't had any problems with them. I just am looking at needing to maybe get some more frames, and now they're $3 a piece. Or
I'm sitting here looking at Better Bees website. Like I said a minute ago, the deep extra heavy wax black frame $470, but I've never seen on their site before who the actual foundation's made by. But now it's saying underneath the picture, proudly made in the U.S. by Peerco.
Here it goes.
and that's that Better Be.
Yeah.
And how much are they charging for theirs? $470.
$470. Unless they just switched to Peerco, and that's why the price went up too. Because I never knew what it was before. It wouldn't state it on their website, but now it's saying Peerco.
Now let's see, frame style. Where's
I mean, if you buy 300 plus frames, you get them for $350 a piece. You're saving $1.20 per frame, and that's with the extra heavy wax.
I'm trying to see what Man Lake has got going on over here. Wax standard plastic frame, case of 30, $100, $95. So they're $3, right? A little over $3 a piece. Their black standard wax, $450 to $37.50. So it's probably $37.50 for a case.
Bruce is right there.
Yeah.
Pallet.
So I'm saying, I'll have to check with that apiary up the road, see who they order from. Maybe just get in and piggyback on them.
Let's see, case of 10. Yeah. A pallet. How many comes on a pallet, Bruce? Yeah, I try to stop ordering from Man Lake. About the only benefit of Man Lake really is the shipping, but they just add that into the price anyway. Bulk supplies. That's, yeah. See, for me, I'm not ordering $2,200 of Ultra B. You know what I mean? That's not my game at the moment. I'm well aware of my niche. I'm the onesie twosie guy. You need 1 or 2 queens, I'm your man, right? Yeah, you need 1 or 2 nukes, I'm your man. If you're starting to want discount stuff because you're buying a bunch, that's not me. Unassembled, 100 pack of frames, $154, $155.
Now, like if you look on Man Lake at their 40-pound bag of Ultra B, it's $85. Now you got to pay shipping on that. Shipping's going to cost you $35 probably.
Not
last
me.
time I
I'll buy
checked.
another Hive tool and get my $100.
I was about to say, if you reach that $100 mark, then it's free shipping. Last time I ordered a 40-pound bag from them, it was $90-something with change. Well, I needed like $2 worth of whatever just to reach that $100 free shipping limit. They had a bottle of barbecue sauce on their site.
All right.
I bought that and got free shipping.
Barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
Let's see. So Bruce, you ordered 1,200 foundations. That's a pallet, and ordered wood frames separate. 16 boxes of black frames per pallet, 52 deep box or 72 mediums. You have to call and get a quote. All right. Yeah, that they box them, which leads me to believe that the Acorn and the Peerco are made at the same place because they're both come 52 to a case or 72 to a case. Was the barbecue sauce any good, Lee?
I don't know. I ain't never ate it. I don't even know where it's at. I don't know if I put it in the cabinet or the trash.
He don't even know if he got it.
He got free shipping.
Yep, that's all that matters. I paid $2 extra for a bottle of barbecue sauce and got free shipping on it all, so it was worth it.
So yeah, I'll have to do my research, but yeah, I'm gonna have to buy some more. But honestly, what we calculate, if I go buy the Acorn here, it's the same as if I order from them with the shipping. I mean, so it's like,
Right, you got it in hand, right?
might as well go pick it up.
Guys, I'm leaving. It's 11:45. I got to get going.
We only been going 3 hours and 40 minutes. Lee just got here.
I know. I'll see you guys. Lee, you say you're going to be here tomorrow night, maybe?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay.
We'll catch you
Yeah.
later then. All right.
Where's
See y'all.
All right. Thanks,
Bye.
Charlie.
Yeah.
Hey, Bruce, were the wood frame, you had to put the wood frames together or they were already put together? Man, I can only imagine what the shipping was on that, on the pallet. Probably
On a pallet,
300,
yeah.
$400 probably.
Easy.
So
It looks like up there where he said he bought 1,200 Premier. He said and foundation separate, and we'll put them together.
I got you. All right.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
That would be yeah. So I'm gonna have to I'll figure it out. I mean, I've got frames right now. I'm not out. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that's good. But again, I thought I had plenty, right? I thought I had plenty at the beginning of the year. And now I don't have plenty. So it's
Well, I
like
don't got plenty either. I got to come up with
some monies. So, all right, guys. Well, we've been going 3 hours and 42 minutes and 6 seconds. So we appreciate all of you guys. This was Lee left me hanging for the first 3 hours and 40 minutes. And
Hey, I was working for free tractor attachments tonight.
go.
I tell you one thing, couches were heavy. They were solid metal with the recliners built into them.
Oh
I
man,
don't
you
wanna do
earned it
that
there.
again.
and I hate moving. I hate moving myself.
Yep.
man.
But it helped somebody out.
Yep. That's why I took 100 plus stings yesterday to help somebody out. I understand fully. Let me see. Yeah, I'll have to scan. We need to make us Lee. You need to make us a web crawler that matches all the products up on one HTML page that you can go to that shows all the price. I've seen it on electronics, right?
Yeah.
Where there's flashing different items and what the prices are on different things. We should do that for beekeeping supplies where we know exactly who's got what, the best price, where they're at.
I have to check with my buddy, see if he still does web design.
And get that going, man. That would be a great resource.
It would.
And then when people start ordering from this guy, then maybe that guy's like, oh, hell, I need to drop my price down. And then there's possibly
Make a little competition in there.
that would help.
The market.
Otherwise, I'm going to have to start melting wax and getting one of them silicone things and making my own wax foundations to go in everything.
About right there myself.
That's crazy. But all right, guys. Well, we appreciate you as usual. Thank you for stopping in. Thank you to the stream team and for coming in, and also Jose for popping in. And they talked me into it, Jose. I'm gonna be taking your queens into those 2-frame nukes out there and letting them lay right away. So we're gonna get them going. But I appreciate all you guys. Thanks for coming. Lee, thanks for showing up and snatching me up by the shirt.
Showing up late, but I'm here.
Hey, better late than never.
Yeah.
Houston, thank you as always
Man,
for
brother,
coming.
appreciate you having me on.
Oh man, anytime. I enjoy chatting with you.
Thank you.
You're one of my buddies.
Same here, brother.
All right, guys. Well, y'all have a good night, and we'll see you on the next stream.
Have a good one.
All right. Good night.